And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chilling, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. Got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, cause you got me holding. Me up, play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming round in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding.
All right, all right. Hope you are having a fantastic Friday night. Hey, late night trade, what's up? How are you, my friend? What's up, collectors? Everyone that is here tonight, everyone that is coming tonight. Thank you, late night trade, for being here with me. We have a special night. Of course, it's Friday, so I hope that you all having a fantastic start of your in this case of the weekend. You have a lot of plans. I don't know what plans you have, but I want to say thank you very much for starting the weekend with me. Dragon Ball Z Nation, yes, Dragon Ball Z Nation, which is unfortunately we're starting today with really sad news. Of course, this week, this morning, of course, started. Yeah, it was yesterday, but I think you saw more. There was a lot more communication, a lot of more stuff about Akira Toriyama passing, and definitely that hits hard if you grew up watching the Dragon Ball. And to me, it's definitely a big loss. He was not old; he was young, but he passed away, and definitely it leaves a big spot, big hole, I think, for fans of anime or manga. My experience with Toriyama's work, Mr. Toriyama, was I actually started watching. As many of you know, I grew up in Mexico. In Mexico, we have the blessing, I would call it that, to have manga and anime way before the United States. So that was great. So coming to the United States, of course, you kind of best of both worlds in some way. You kind of live in Mexico in some way, because coming back and forth, you get both, both of, the best of both worlds. And but in Mexico, we were able to back in the 90s, they already have the cartoons, the original Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z. So I remember watching the cartoon. I was already kind of a teen. In the 90s, I was a teenager, but I was watching the cartoon because they were fun. A lot of people loved them. Children loved them. It was super popular in Mexico. Then coming in the United States, and then of course in the 2000s, that's when they started airing the Dragon Ball Z. They started with Dragon Ball Z here, and I already watched those in Mexico. So it was kind of like, oh, we watch in Spanish, now you watch it in English. The translation, of course, I got to watch the original voice. And to me, that was special, like everything he did. Dr. Slump, for example, the anime, I remember watching the original cartoon, and I saw Arale there from Dr. Slump. And the first time I saw the character back in the 90s, I was like, who's she? And that's how I was introduced to the manga with her. And, so much stuff, of course, video games that he was able to produce, like he was the one that created the design, the Chrono Trigger, one of the best games of all time, Dragon Quest. What else? He was a Blue Dragon, things like that. He was very prolific. He built such a universe, and to me, it's like I had so much fun playing the video games over the years. I love Dragon Ball Z. I'm a big fan. Love the manga, love the anime, and definitely love the video games. So, hey Kenny, how you doing, my friend? How are you? Welcome to the show tonight. Definitely we have a night, and I want to dedicate, starting the night, I definitely want to dedicate the night to the memory of Mr. Akira Toriyama. I want to dedicate tonight to him and for what he did. Definitely he created a universe that really matters to a lot of people, and it was definitely the introduction for a lot of people to manga and anime. And he definitely is, I would consider, the father, at least of the more modern anime, and the way that a lot of people took inspiration. A lot of artists in this industry too, sculptors, have taken inspiration. People like Eric Sosa, he's a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. I've talked to him several times. They grew up, imitating the art, really looking at the art and trying to bring that imitation into the work that they did. So he was such an inspiration to a lot of artists in here. So rest in peace. And we're going to dedicate this show tonight to his memory, and definitely the rest in peace and our condolences to the family, and definitely to the fan base worldwide, because he was what he did was a phenomenon worldwide, particularly Dragon Ball, but everything else he did, a lot of people are going to miss him dearly and everything he has done, but his legacy is here, and we're going to keep enjoying his legacy for years to come. So I want to dedicate this show tonight to his memory. But yeah, we have a busy night. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about. And if you follow me, of course, in social media, in some sorts of groups, I've been talking about certain things here and there. But I haven't really dived into a lot of the things. And of course, the live show allows me to be able to share my opinion directly to you, talk to you, have this conversation with you, and really share the things that happen in the collectibles world, my opinion of them, what I think is good, what I think is bad, the things that we need to pay attention to, the news of the day, things like that. So we're going to cover all that. I invite you to, if you're here, please do not forget to leave a like. Those who do it, thank you very much. Also, leave your comments. Let me know you're watching. Even if it's just in passing, just let me know that you're watching. Even if you only spend here a couple of minutes, thank you. And, please leave a like. Let me know you're watching. As usual, next day, tomorrow in the morning, I add all the timestamps. So if you need to come back, if you're busy tonight, you have things to do where you're on the other side of the world, you cannot watch the entire video, you can always come back and you can actually go through a different section, which is a lot easier that way. You're only interested on hearing something about a particular collectible you're interested on. We're gonna divide the night. Of course, I always do it. I try to do it that way so it's easier for people to navigate through my videos. But please do not forget to leave a like, and also to subscribe to the channel if you're here for the first time, and if you like the content here. The purpose of my videos, I know a lot of people make videos. A lot of collectors do videos. Everyone makes it differently. Everybody has a different format. Some people like to have conversations with other collectors in video in the chat. I like to have conversations with you. I can invite somebody else, I could, and maybe I need to do it at one point, but I do like to have conversations and interactions with my subscribers, not only with guests here. That becomes more of a podcast, in my opinion. And I do love, stay tuned for the podcast. HO Heroes is going to come back very soon. You know, I will let you know when, but we're thinking about sometimes within the, you know, it's spring and summer, you're gonna start seeing the podcast back again, a new season. But, you know, here it's about me chatting with you, sharing my opinion, but also chatting with you back and forth, because this is sometimes the only time that I can do it, really. You know, you can leave comments on my other videos. It's more impersonal in some way because I have to come back and answer, but here we can do it live, and I like that opportunity. So tonight we're going to, just to give you a list of what we're going to cover tonight, and I'm trying to now, something that I realize is that I need to start kind of cleaning some of the stuff that I do. I do talk about a lot of collectibles. I get so excited. I like to talk about a lot of companies, but I know that a lot of you may not like that, may not be interested in some things. So I'm going to minimize some of that. I'm going to cover the highlights for me, the things that I personally feel are the best of the best. There's tons of things to talk about, but I'm going to try to be as more precise with the video, trying to really share with you the things that I think are the most important, or I think the highlights, or the things that really kept my attention and I feel more people are interested on. So I want to talk about LooseCollector first and foremost. This is a new company. I was supposed to talk about it last week, and I did mention early in the video in the introduction that I was talking about it, and for some reason it skipped my mind. And I skipped one step, and I talk about other companies, and I didn't talk about LooseCollector. And this is the collaboration that LooseCollector has with Rob Liefeld, with Extreme Universe. They're doing figures. I want to talk about it. It's going to be the first thing we're going to cover before I forget, because definitely it's interesting to look at, and I'm really interested on the stuff they're producing. I want to talk about NECA. We're going to talk about the new reveal for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon line. We're going to talk about InArt Studio. They have a new action figure, 1/6 scale figure that was released this week. We're going to look, and this is based on the Dune movie that I just went to watch actually this week, and I really enjoyed it. We're going to talk about Hot Toys, the reveals of this week. Also, Sideshow Collectibles had a reveal 1/6 scale figure of Pennywise. If you're a fan of it, we're gonna look at that today. I'm gonna talk about a company that I have never really talked about. It's a company that I just discovered, Force Lab. You can call it that. And we're gonna look at the statue that they have. We're gonna look at McFarlane Toys. They have with the Disney Direct, they have new statues. They within the 110 1/8 scale. They continue with the DC Direct. The black and white Batman collection continues on, which is great. So their new reveals, new pre-orders this week. We're gonna look at Sideshow Collectibles, of course. We need to talk about the Hulks PFs, the 4 different variants that they have. We're gonna look at the teasers. We're gonna dissect the things, good, bad. We're gonna kind of cover the things that I feel are important to point out there. We're gonna look at PCS with the Devastator. Long time coming. A lot of people were anticipating Devastator to come. You're a Transformers fan. I think this is a big win-win for those who were clamoring. They were asking for it for a long time. They finally have what they wish for. We're going to look at J&D Studios. They have a statue, 1/3 scale statue. And that looks very interesting. Very interesting. Based on a character of a movie that I never watched, have never watched, but I have to kind of do some investigation to find out more about it, and I did, and I want to cover it because it looks fantastic. Of course, J&D, you know how they do. Prime One Studio, we're going to look at the reveals of this week, the pre-orders they have. We're going to look at Regal Robot. We're going to look at the pre-order for this week, and finally, at the end of the video, I want to discuss the biggest news I think that happened for Sideshow Collectors this week. In this case, the partition, the falling out between Legendary Beasts and XM Studios. I think a lot of people were talking about it throughout the week. There was, it was a bomb that was dropped. And there's 2 sides to the story, of course. We have the official statement from, of course, the Legendary Beast, and also the official statement from XM Studios. We're going to try to dissect some of the information that is there. Of course, I'm not an insider, so I don't have insider information I'm not going to share. But there's a lot that we can discuss about the things there, the things that I think are happening, the things that I think should happen, are the things that we need to pay attention to and we need to be on the lookout. Put down my pre-order on the InArt Dune piece. Good job, Kenny. You did a good job. I love that movie. I'm telling you, the part 2 is amazing, and I was blown away by the movie. And probably when we get to that, I'll share some of that. But I want to say to everyone here, welcome. And again, appreciate your support. Appreciate being here with me. All right, so let's start. Let's start fresh. And for that reason, let me take you. Let's go to Spec Fiction first. Let's see. I've been so busy today that I haven't really had an opportunity to look at Spec Fiction much. I don't know. Actually, we're gonna look at Big Bad Toy Store. Let's go to Big Bad Toy Store. Man, I really like Big Bad Toy Store. Okay, so they have this. I didn't want that. They got a lot of different figures, a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of collectible stuff. You know, I will definitely go crazy if trying to buy everything that they have, which, you know, I don't have that type of money. You know, I wish to, you know, be able to buy like everything that comes out, but that's just the way it is. So all I can do is just look from afar and criticize it and talk about it and really spend some time with it. But let's talk about LooseCollector. And this company, I have talked about this company before. This is a company that I mentioned in several times, as you can see there, pre-orders of things that they have done. I talked before about it. They primarily concentrate. They do 1/12. You know, in this case, we're looking at the 7-inch scale figure. They do a lot of these figures based on a lot of more obscure characters. Also, they do a lot of comics. They have a lot of pre-orders, as you can see. This is, you know, Executive Replicas, LooseCollector. They're technically the same company. Then LooseCollector is the one that manufactures. Executive Replicas is the one that does the, I think, the design of this. But they have done a lot of stuff, as you can see, based on characters. We talk about She, for example, one time, but they have the Rocketeer. So you can see all these figures. They're great figures. This is a very indie company. So it's not one of those huge companies that produces a lot of stuff. They concentrate on quality. So they released these 2 different figures. And this is a collaboration with Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld was promoting it on Instagram, on Facebook. He was talking about it a lot, telling people, hey, come and look at this, guys. You know, he's trying to promote his stuff. They're not cheap. Keep in mind, again, this is a company that does its own stuff. It's a very indie company, but they provide a lot of quality with this stuff. There's a lot of parts, a lot of accessories that come with it. So they keep it in mind. So it's technically within the same range of what you pay right now with Storm Collectibles. So, you know, we have to keep that in mind. Now, this is going to release according to the schedule here sometime in the 3rd quarter of 2024. Of course, that is always subject to change. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Extreme Universe, of course, you know Rob Liefeld. For many people, Rob Liefeld is such a divisive person. It is a divisive person because many people... because of the experiences with Rob Liefeld. Of course, you know, for many people, consider him a hack person that actually didn't have any much talent to draw, but was able to bank on a lot of the opportunities in the 90s. And I would say to a certain extent, yes. Now, I'm not going to say I hate Rob Liefeld. I think his art, it's there. I think when he does it right, when he did it right back then in the 90s, he did it right. You can look, for example, at what he was drawing... Huck and Dove at DC Comics, which was technically the way that he became popular, because he became famous on those on doing Huck and Dove, because he was doing great art there, and he was very young, very talented. At that moment, he was of course invited to go to Marvel, and Marvel he started doing the New Mutants, which later turned into the X-Force, and of course you know the race of, if you're following the 90s comics, you know that that's how he became super popular. Then of course with the other guys he left, created Image Comics, and then Youngblood was his creation, which I think is great. I'm not sure why he didn't have figures for Youngblood here, but he decided to go with this more, you know, kind of like offshoots that happened from there. And the first one, of course, Bloodstrike, is one of those offshoots that came out from Youngblood. And this is Cabot Stone, which is the leader of the Bloodstrike, the group. And to be honest with you, when you look at him, he's a ripoff of Cable. You know, he's always been a ripoff of Cable, of course, with a different hair. But when you look at the comic book then, I think it lasted like 24, 25 issues, something like that. And of course, there were other things that they did later in the years. The Extreme Universe, the problem with Rob Liefeld and his comics was always that he, you know, like he never kept at it, you know, like other artists, they kind of kept with this stuff. Of course, you see McFarlane with Spawn, he continued on up to this day. The Savage, you know, was that the Dragon, Savage Dragon with, you know, Eric Larson, all of them have to continue on, but he was not like, you know, his characters are there. So they're not as, like, I would say as popular and as well known unless you really know the comics. I think the figure looks great. It comes, of course, the classic style. It has better feet, actually, than what Rob Liefeld does. It looks good, in my opinion. The detail, the paint, of course, this is a prototype. The portrait looks on point. It has different portraits, you can see. It has different weapons. Although these weapons, like, kind of look better than what actually Rob Liefeld used to draw the weapons. Has the knife. And you can see the guns. Very, you know, I think the figure looks great. And you can change parts, as you can see now without the clothing. You know, like I think you can change the torso. So that looks pretty good. Or you can do certain things. I think maybe you get able to remove the torso. That figure looks great in my opinion. I think for you can see here everything that comes with it. Actually, you can remove that from his body. Okay, that's great. And here you can see you got a 33 points of articulation. They have 2 hits, 2 fists, 2 trigger hands, 2 grip hands. You got the open hands, the removable vest, removable belt. Okay, so all that is removable. Now with a sheath, pistol with holster, 2 rifles, bag, a big ass gun. Yeah, that is definitely a rough Liefeld thing. And here's the packaging, which I think is great. I think it's kind of cool the way they did the packaging. Now it's definitely, when you look at it, it definitely takes a lot of cues from the stuff that Storm Collectibles is doing, the way they do the packaging, which I think always looks great. And here, of course, right there, you got Bloodwulf, who actually is another copy. This is another ripoff that Ruff did of actually Lobo. It's his version of Lobo. It has different things, but he rides a motorcycle in space. He can breathe in space, where he create like some type of some type of thing around him, like a covering that allows him to breathe, you know, to hold the air and be able to not, you know, have to breathe in there. So he can survive pretty much the vacuum of space. So it's Lobo. It is a ripoff of Lobo, and he's crazy as Deadpool. You can say that. So here you can see a comparison with other figures they have created. This is actually, as you can see, a comparison with other figures. This is from the wrestling figures. This is the Marvel Legends cable. Yeah, you can see that the cable, Marvel Legends cable, right next to the ripoff cable, which actually looks better. That is a much better figure for sure. But that gives you an idea of what we're working with. So definitely, it really looks good. $74.99 for that one. Now, if we go to the next figure, again, Bloodwulf, again a ripoff of Lobo. And I think this looks great, man. I like the big gun. He always has this protection of his knees and things like that. It's pretty cool. They did a fantastic job. This product looks great. If the figures come out as this product, I'd be more than pleased. I think that would be a fantastic way to do it. Love the knife. Definitely that extra face. That looks a very, in my opinion, really kind of respects the source material. Although Bloodwulf didn't have as many comics back in the day, only a few offshoots here, there, and there. He was even introduced on the same comic with the Max, the same comic from Image Comics. There were different stories on that one. And the Max, which I think is a great character too, that deserves more attention now. Also, he was introduced, and he comes with the different guns. That motorcycle, I'm not sure. That looks like the motorcycle. Not sure if this is for sale, but it kind of looks in some way like his motorcycle, but I think his motorcycle was different. I don't know, sure, I remember. But the hands and the design and the portrait and the craziness of the portraits and the big gun, it is a really nice figure. And the packaging definitely looks very terrifying. He's a crazy dude, man. He's a crazy dude. If you read the comics, you haven't read him, I will tell you this, honestly, you don't miss much. In the sense, it's better to go and read Lobo. Lobo has better stories than actually Bloodwulf. But if you want to read him, it goes all over the place. It's crazy. And he only did he drew the character a few times, and most of the time it was drawn by someone else's. It was not him. But, I think it's great. So I would say this is something that happens like last week. We skipped it. It's kind of cool. And I'm not sure why he didn't decide, because, of course, this is his license and he's doing the partnership. Why he didn't give him Young Blood. I'm not sure why he couldn't do it. Bedrock would be nice to have a big Bedrock figure. Perhaps this is the beginning of that, and they're going to build. How popular it's going to be, it depends. I think price-wise, it's not for everyone. It's already priced itself in a place where it's a little high. Only for really hardcore collectors, or people who like the work of Rob Liefeld. I think for them it's going to be more than well received. But for the vast majority of people, I don't think it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to like. However, the figures look great. Even if you don't know the characters with the weapons and all that, they look fantastic. So kudos to them for doing such a thing. We'll see what happens in the coming months when this come out and the reviews come out. I am definitely keep an eye on them. I definitely think I'm going to add them to my collection of figures. So we'll see when that comes. All right, so that is the first step. Now we're going to move. I want to take you now We are going to the NECA store because there is a new reveal. And this new reveal here, I think it's here. I hope it's here. We are going to look at, I'm hoping it's still here. It might not be here. Okay, I know where it is. Let me try to see if we can find it here. Because we got the NECA Online and NECA stores. It might not be here. It might be actually because it might be with Target. If that is the case, oh, right here. We got it right here. Here you have the sewer layer Donatello's Lab diorama. Baylan for Bloodwulf. Yeah, it looks good. The art looks good. Like that, I think the art looks very menacing. I recommend anyone to read it. But yeah, he's a ripoff of Lobo all around. He has multiple wives and children. It's a crazy guy, but you know, he lives in his own planet, things like that. It's the same thing as Lobo, but with the art, of course, of Liefeld. So I recommend anyone. But here, looking at NECA at the sewer layer, this is one that, of course, is a store exclusive only here. You cannot find them anywhere. This is the same as the sewer layer that they did, but this is another companion piece that's gonna go with it. Now, when we look at it, let me see. We can do pre-order here. As you can see, it's $299.99, $300. I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you. It is too much money for this. Too much money for this. In this case, just the van, the turtle van, it was $250. $250, and that van is amazing. And one thing I gotta say, I need to upload the review of this video. I haven't done it. I still gotta do the finishing touches. I've been working on that video for quite some time, but you know, my life gets so busy, so I haven't really had the opportunity to film the whole thing, or like not film. I already film everything to finish editing everything, because every time something happens, every weekend I've been busy, every day I've been busy. You know, I come home, I'm just don't have the energy to do anything else. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks. You know, it's been a crazy year, beginning of the year because of work, but I'm blessed with my job, so I haven't finished it. But I'm telling you, I am impressed with that van, and for the price, I think it's a phenomenal investment. Now, when they did the sewer layer, and I talked about it last year, I think that was a ripoff for $300 because there's nothing else. Doesn't have light-off features, have nothing. It's just couple pieces of plastic. That's it, and you attach them all together, and $300. The original, the thing that they did years ago, where they did the whole thing in the background, hasn't been that long, but they think this case the stairs to the wall, the city kind of land, the city thing, or the apartment thing. They did. It was only like $80 when it came out. Then it has $150 when they have to reissue it. But that has been a couple of years back. $300 for this, I don't think it's, you know, again, I think NECA is smoking some real good stuff. Yeah, and I just don't feel that there is any value. I personally, like you said, if you're talking about Kenny, about this, about the layer, I like it. I like it. I wish I could have bought this sewer, but in my mind, when I saw it, I thought to myself, that thing should be the sewer layer. I thought it should be only like $150. I think that was the price, the most they could have priced it, and $150, it was doable. I think it was perfect. Now with this one, it had so much backlash. A lot of people didn't want it. A lot of people didn't order the other one. As soon as they come out with this one, it gets the same backlash. People are not interested. You know, $300 in this economy and this situation. I'm not saying the economy is not bad. It's not. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I'm blessed. I have everything I want and I need. But at the same time, you know, you have to be smart. And I don't think, you know, I've seen people, and I have mentioned this, people online, they have been able to recreate their own and make their own versions better than this for a lot less. It's like I could come out, I could create my own, and I can actually 3D print something. I have somebody 3D print something, or I can actually, there's some places, there's a couple of people that are 3D printing stuff and selling it online for, you know, a couple of bucks. So I don't know. I'm telling you, it's just, it looks good. I wish I could add it, but to me, it's more like, it's not that I don't have the money. It's more about the principle of the matter to me. The principle. If you start. Yeah, and that goes for everything, not only for NECA, that goes for every collectible. When you start actually allowing the price point to hit where it needs to hit, when, you know, like, not saying that it needs to hit, but when you're actually paying more than what things are actually worth, then you're saying the companies that you're okay with the price. The companies start kind of behaving that way and going in that route and that direction, and they start selling stuff for that price. I'm not saying that they are, I know every business is here to make money, but sometimes some companies, they go the extra mile by say, well, let's just sell it for this amount, so the margin of profit is a lot higher for this in comparison to, you know, the thing is this, with the van, the margin of profit was a lot less, you know, because there was a lot of more components. There's even electrical wiring there because he has a lighter feature. So there's a lot of more components. There's more plastic in it. It's more, you know, more compact. There's so many things there. But they were able to pull it off nicely for $250, and they produce a ton of those. Because he has, it even comes with an edition size. He comes with a super huge edition size. They make tons of them. So yeah, they maybe make less profit, but because of the amount they can produce, because of the orders, now they're making more money. It's kind of like the principle of the Coke. You know, Cokes, when people ask how much a Coca-Cola makes from a Coke, they don't make really much from a Coke. They a couple cents after everything that is in the, everything they have to pay is only 5 cents. The difference is that they sell millions and millions of cans. So that's when you make money, because it's the amount. I feel that sometimes companies miss that opportunity, particularly with this type of collectibles. Yes, they can be limited, but if you put it in a really nice price that people are enticed to buy, if you put it at, they say $150, and people feel like, then you will, instead of producing 1,000, you will produce probably 10,000. And that's something that has been proven with Hasbro Pulse has been doing with all the different things that they have hit. A lot of prices that they have hit, because, and they're really fancy hits. Like, for example, like last year with the helicopter, they bought, you know, this guy's a Firefly. It was also $250, I think, or $300, between that amount, and that comes with light-up features. It's a beautiful package, and they order over like 14,000 people order them. So I don't know. I feel that NECA on this needs to really kind of get to their senses, and I feel that they just need to be realistic about the way they're pricing things. I do like it. Nice accessories. It would be nice on a display when you have the turtles there and you have Donatello, and you can do all kind of, you know, you can come up with so many beautiful things. I know some people are gonna love it. If you're a strict NECA fan, you might think that this is a great investment if that's all you collect, but for people who collect many things, it's just more. It's a lot more money than expected, when I can actually use the money for something else that, in my opinion, has more value and will hold more value. And as a collector, I have to think about value and also about how smart I am with my investment, where I put in my money in the collectibles that I'm adding. Yeah, you know, it's not worth it. So I would say, again, this is a pass for me. It looks good, looks great, but it's a pass. And if somebody feels like the opposite and says, you know, like, I don't agree with you, JP, I'm totally for it. I'm not against it. You know, like, if you feel, more power to you. It comes with all these accessories, but I don't see the value. And yes, you can say that the figures, you know, the 4 packages come at $150, but I think, you know, the figures also come with accessories, and they're movable parts. Here, they just simply have to put together. It just doesn't feel like it's the right thing. I feel that you're definitely, even if you price it at $200, I still can feel that it's expensive, but I can kind of give away. I can say, okay, let's just do it, $175. But at $300, they're just too much. I think they just completely is smoking some good stuff there, and I don't know, they ain't sharing with anyone else. You know, like they just smoking the stuff. All right, so I feel that this is a pass. Not a fan. I'm sorry, NECA. I love your stuff, but this is not it. This is not it. All right, my friends. Thank you for watching again. Thanks everyone that is spending time with me. Okay, so now let's go to Spec Fiction. Now we're going into the 1/6 scale. And we come into Spec Fiction because I want to talk about Quinn Studios. And Quinn Studios just released these figures. Paul Atriedes, I think that's what it said. I forgot. The Atriedes family, and this is from Dune, the movie. This is actually based on the first part of the first movie that came out, 2 years ago. And I think there's 2 versions. There's the standard and there's the deluxe version. Now, when we look at the deluxe version, Atriedes, that's what it is. Paul Atriedes. You know, this funny thing is that I love Dune since I was a kid. I watched Dune, the original movie. That's how I was introduced. I was a kid when I watched the Atriedes. It was such a impactful movie as a kid, because there was so many things that happened for me. I'm just a kid. I'm impressionable. Yeah, some people will say, well, it's not good. It's not a good adaptation of the book, blah, blah, blah. Of course, as a kid, who knows? As a kid, you don't know because you have never read the book. So in my mind, I was like, I don't understand it, but it's something that is just unique and different and grotesque because even the variant was very grotesque then. But that movie really impacted me as a kid. It was one of those movies that impacted me and made me as a kid a fan of sci-fi stuff. And to think that that's how I was introduced to the book. And I will tell you, honestly, I haven't read all the books. There are like 6 books. I haven't read them all. But I have read, I read Dune 1. I read, of course, the book when it was in the 1960s when it came out in 2 parts. Kind of like the movies are doing the 2 parts. And of course, the Messiah, there was that the Dune Messiah is probably going to be the inspiration for the 3rd movie. Just let you know, you haven't watched the movie. More than likely, we're going to have a 3rd movie, and that's the plan. And, I'll tell you, the movie, and I went to watch, so that was how I was introduced to the House of Atriedes, into the book, into the stories. And it's always been interesting. And of course, the movies didn't really, really completely got into it. Like, they weren't like, the movie, we had that movie never really fully developed because the book is crazy. There's so much craziness in that book. And the reality is that the Dune is technically the inspiration for so many stuff of sci-fi. The modern sci-fi came out because of Dune. All the stuff that you can think of, whether it's Star Wars, you can see the inspiration there. You can see the inspiration even in The Matrix. I can see a lot of the inspiration that was taken from Dune. There's so much stuff that modern sci-fi owes. Even anime, manga took inspiration from the book, from the novel, from the stories that were written there. And all that is because of Dune. So this movie, the first part, it wasn't like perfect in my opinion. There were a couple of things, but the second part, it blew me away. Even though there's a lot of things that are not incoherent with the story, or they're not, they kind of skip and they change things on the storyline. They change things on the characters. They think a lot of different changes. I found the movie very well done, and made me really a believer of the project here. So now we have a Paul Atriedes, and this is, when you look at it, it's $515, which I think is it's expensive, but we're looking at InArt Studios type of quality. InArt Studios is a great company, in the sense of what they've been producing so far. Like, you just have, what was that, Gandalf, that just came out a few months back, and people are just blown away by the quality of Gandalf. It's just such a beautiful figure, and they put in some amazing looking stuff. But look at this one. This is the deluxe version, so he has the rooted hair, all of that. This young actor, it looks the part. It's based, of course, on the first film, so he's wearing the clothing from the first film. I'm sure that if this does well, they're gonna have probably a second version that is based on the second film because his clothing changes. Of course, the outfit changes, but this is based on that. It is just a really well done figure. And even has the cape. And this pose, they took it from the second part of the second film. This is a very important scene in the film. And the fact that he can actually do that when he's about to fight that way. Actually, this on the first part also he got into a fight. But it looks really fantastic. It is a really nice figure overall. Now, pricey for sure, but you get more stuff. You get, of course, and everything, the silicone parts. It looks good. Yeah, we can say that there are things that they're not like 100%, but I feel that they really nail a lot of the important aspects. And yes, the accuracy with the portrait might be a little off from different angles, but I would say this is a 95 recreation of the actor, and I think on that they did a really fantastic job. And yeah, this is actually from the second part. Really nice. Even the stand, the little base that they have is really cool. And I'll tell you, I went to the movie theater. This is, of course, the thing they used to call the sandworms. I went to the movie this week. I went on Tuesday, and I sit down. I like to go on Tuesday first because it's cheaper. Second, because there's not many people. And I went there and I just had a blast. I enjoyed the film. It was long, but I was almost 3 hours. You count the time that you gotta wait and trailers, all that, over 3 hours. But I went to the bathroom maybe twice, but it was like a very good experience. I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like it was dragging, like sometimes some movies feel like they're dragging. I didn't feel that. It is really an excellent film. And I would say that it made me think so much. Like I was thinking on the way, and I've been thinking the last couple of days about the things that I like, the things that I feel that maybe, and it's hard for me to say that it's a bad film. I think it's just a phenomenal film. The second part blows, you know, many films when it off the water. It's just a great adaptation of the book, even though many parts are not in the same level with the, you know, the book. Many parts have to be changed, drastically changed too. But here, you can see the hands, the weapon, the accessories, the weapons, all of that. Very well done. That's what you're paying for. It's just all that stuff that comes with it. Atriedes, Paul Atriedes really looks great. Man, they had tons of pictures here. Didn't expect that many pictures, but I think they captured the essence of the actor. $515. Now, if you go for the regular version, and this also, you can go to other places, like, you know, many other stores have it. We just saw it in Big Bad Toy Store. This is $3.99. So, of course, this is going to have less accessories, as you can see. The portrait, it doesn't have the rooted hair. It has just the regular hair, which I think is fine too. In your case, just with regular hair, which is fine to me sometimes, you know, it least maintenance, but it has also a lot of the clothing. I think the difference is, I think looking at it, it very looks similar. The only difference would be the hair. Yeah, I don't see anything else besides that. Has the same accessories so far. Yeah, has the same hands, same accessories. So yeah, so technically all you're really getting here, the only difference will be the hair. You wanted the rooted hair or you want the regular hair. I gotta give it to you. It's up to you. Rooted hair looks great, but also requires more maintenance, and you have to be more careful with that too. Now with just the the sculpted hair, it's fine. I think the figure looks fine. So ultimately, you want to save yourself, you know, I would say $150 or so. You know, then go for the regular. I think it's a great price, and it's comparable to what Hot Toys does at 300 and something. They almost kind of get into this place. So yeah, it's not bad. I think it's a great figure, fantastic. I think they did a fantastic job with this one. Kudos to InArt and Queen Studios for doing another amazing job in the representation. Let me read some of the comments here. The art looks cool. Okay. The sound and visual look spectacular. I was absolutely blown away. The It figure is great. One of my favorite pieces. I believe the only way to get the Desert Mouse is to order directly from InArt. Oh, the Desert Mouse. I didn't. Well, actually, no. It could be. I didn't know that. So they have like a little Desert Mouse. I went for the rooted. I think you did a good thing. So let me look at InArt Queen Studios. Let me see if that's the case. I think you're right, but let's go to Queen Studios. I haven't really been at Queen Studios website in a very long time. But I think to order through them is a little bit more tricky. Okay, so we have the Paul Atriedes here. Atriedes. Okay, so they have the flat rate shipping, so they do. Oh, okay, I see what you mean here. So if you order through them, then you can get an official, the Desert Mouse, a tiny little Desert Mouse. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Now, how much is going to cost because you buy dealing directly with them? That is, you might pay a premium because of the shipping part. But if you want to do it for a little extra, you know, why not? Just to go for it. Go. No. I would say the rooted hair, perhaps. If you're going for InArt, I think it's one of the things that they're doing really great. And yeah, actually the deposit payment is not bad. There's a flat rate shipping in the US. Let's see what it says right there. So the full payment is $475, which is technically not bad. Actually, it's better buy directly from them than buying from the other place. Now, they may imagine that there's going to be a rate where you have to pay a certain amount. They give you like the shipping. They're gonna give you like an invoice that you have to pay. I think it's actually not bad. If you order directly from Queen Studios, by all means, I think you are dealing directly with the company, and that could work. No, keep in mind that in this case, Queen Studios is in China, so you gotta deal with them in China. But why not? You can deal directly with them, and they're offering the opportunity, and you get an extra thing. It's not bad. I think rooted hair is the way to go. But if you have the ability, if you know how to take care of them and you're okay with it, and you're very careful with your collectibles, fine. If you're going to be more like the type of people, like some people, for example, for me, I can work with rooted hair fine because I don't really do much with my figures. I don't post them much. I just don't change them much. I just like to have it more like a museum pose, basic museum pose, like many collectors do. So it'd be fine. Where I live, I don't have to worry about you know, the contaminants in the air or dust or dirt or anything. Everything is controlled climate, so it'd be fine. But for some people, don't have that in parts of the world. So I was in. The humidity is high where I live. There's humidity, but it's controlled here. Of course, the homes are controlled. We control all of those things, so I'm fine. I'll be fine in my home. But if you're the type of person that likes to post things and you move a lot of stuff around and you change parts all the time, so rear hair might take a little bit of a hit sometimes, you know, in damage. So plastic will be best, and if you want to save the money, it will be fine. I think either way, you're still getting a great deal. It's a really nice figure. If you prefer sculpted, I believe it's smarter to wait for Hot Toys. Now, the only thing that I have with that is that with Hot Toys, not sure when they're going to release it because Hot Toys takes sometimes forever to certain things. You know, like, can they do it? I think the concentration they do it right now on Hot Toys has been primarily on a lot of franchises like, you know, with Marvel, DC. I'm not sure that they're going to do it, but I'm sure eventually they will. But I don't know. I haven't really heard much about it. They actually were on the works with it because there's so much stuff that they're actually releasing. But, I don't know. I think that the price will be around the same. And yes, Hot Toys does amazing stuff, but sometimes also they take forever to release some items. And I think right now with Queen Studios that they are concentrated on this franchise, I think it will be soon, as they saying that it's going to release later in the year. So I'm guessing it's just going to come a lot faster than waiting on Sideshow. Sideshow, Hot Toys. Because once Hot Toys kind of gives us the news that they're going to do it, it can take a year to 2 years until the release comes. So that's how Hot Toys works. They give you a date, but they never fulfill that date. So that only time can tell. All right, so let me actually go. Let's go. We're still looking at the figures. I'm going to Sideshow because here at Sideshow, we're going to look at another figure, and this is the Pennywise, which looks creepy, man. I'm telling you, I remember back when this came out, the TV series or the 2-part series or whatever mini-series. I was never really a It fan. You know, I'm not really a horror person. I've never been like I'm not crazy about horror. I don't like to watch something and go to sleep. Like maybe I'm a chicken. I don't know. But horror has never been my thing. You know, yes. And I believe it or not, I used to read a lot of horror books as a teenager. I used to read the books more than watch the movies. I prefer to read a book than to watch a movie. I can deal with the horror in books more than I can deal with horror in movies. Maybe it's just because the movies are, the purpose is to scare you right there, to impress you. With the books, I take my time. You know, I think that's perhaps the reason why. So I did read a lot of books. I'd never read it. Actually, the book that it was inspired from. But I read a lot of, in this case, a lot of the books by Stephen King. I read many of his books and other writers of the time. And I always, I have like, I love them. Particularly, I love the kind of sci-fi element things of horror. But Pennywise, popular back then, of course. Always been Pennywise, you know, the whole thing. My brother loved it, of course. I think we watch it on VHS too. You know, like it's just something. But here, of course, Sideshow releasing this figure. It looks good. It looks like, you know, the character. And looking at the pictures, that is just a very, very, like, comes from that scene in the movie. I did watch the movie, of course. But yeah, I wasn't like, no, I'm not a fan. A lot of people, I remember when it came out, a lot of kids in school, of course, back in the day when actually our parents were in us, like, oh, okay, there's the rating, you cannot watch this. You know, we just simply watch this stuff. And you talk with the kids about what you watch or stuff like that. I remember a lot of kids were talking about it. It was like a hot thing. And here you can see, man, that clown is scary. Oh, look at the hands. Oh my gosh. Even they came up with a nice display of the hands. Look at that. And look at that portrait. You know, I know people, like I have friends that are big fans of horror and they like to collect anything that has to do with horror. So this figure is going to do great. You know, it's going to be popular. And man, it's scary. And it's ugly. And it's a clown. You know, it's just definitely this can give you a lot of nightmares. Look at the hands too, the interchangeable hands. Really scary. And even though this is the thing, this is the important part. It was created as a miniseries for TV, so there was no blood in the sense that the way everything was in a way they wanted to respect the. They were really pushing the envelope with the horror elements that they were doing in this series. And that is what really kind of makes it more of a psychological thriller than anything else. And definitely, I think that is probably the type of horror that it becomes a little more hard for me to swallow. You know, like sometimes horror, like, you know, like sci-fi horror, like you can say Alien, for example, when you see things jumping at you and breaking you apart, things like that, and the blood, it can be like funny and tricky. But like this psychological thriller, where actually everything is kind of hinted. It just kind of has its moments. So this is the figure by Sideshow. The price for this one is $285. Now Sideshow is known for not having always the best quality with their figures, so don't expect this to be at the level of Hot Toys. It can be there, but I don't think they will be at the same level of the quality of Hot Toys in the end. We'll see what happens with the final product. So far, I feel that the figure has a good price point. There are fans out there that are going to like it. I think it's going to do well. You know, you can add it. And you can put it right next to the, you know what, the Queen Studios Pennywise. You know, why not? You can have them both together side by side. That would be cool too. All right, let's see. They definitely will tackle this. I love the film, but man, was too long. Was it long? Yeah, it was long, the movie, the part 2, but I love every minute of it. Horror films aren't as creepy now because the overuse of CGI. Yeah, I think that was the difference. I think during that era of films, the horror films back then, during that, I see in that part between the 80s and 90s, in the 90s, there was a lot of psychological thrillers in the 80s and 90s. Definitely, there were a lot of psychological thrillers. A lot of films that definitely you were hinted the horror elements. Even movies that, you know, there's all type of different horror, you know, like you can look at, for example, the Silence of the Lambs, for example, that has horror elements. In psychological thriller, there's so many psychological things that happen in the film, and so many other films, they really play with your mind. They trick your mind, and they were like, okay, this is definitely creepy. It's going in a direction that I don't want to go. But nowadays, of course, the overuse of CGI, the horror nowadays, I think is not. Things are more visual and visceral in some way, but at the same time, it takes away that mind element or that psychological element that was so prevalent during that, during the earliest times of horror, or at least during the 80s and 90s, that really kept you guessing. You know, they keep you like on the top of your seat. Like now, horror is more like, okay, I'm gonna laugh about it, and sometimes horror can be okay, but definitely there was a more of a psychological thriller that really took you to scary places mentally, that it was hard sometimes to overcome, and definitely they scare the heck out of you. So we'll see, but yeah, Pennywise as an option, available at Sideshow, of course, and you can look into it. Now we're here at Sideshow, so let's look at the next company. In which case, we're looking at Hot Toys. And of course, Hot Toys has the reveals of the 2 figures that they released this week. They have the Shin, Hati, and Baylan Skoll. Of course, this is based on the Ahsoka TV series and Disney Plus, of course, Star Wars. And this is the first one that was Shin, Hati, and I would say she looks great. I would say Hot Toys is doing amazing work. $280, phenomenal price. But this is definitely a great figure. It's sculpted hair, but I don't think you need to have rooted hair. I think the hair looks perfect. The figure looks amazing. The likeness with the actress is on point. Yeah, I saw some people on some groups kind of pointing out some of the things about the things that they like, the things that, you know, they were actually making comparison about the nose and things like that. And to me, that's too extreme. That is nitpicking. I can see the actress. I think she looks like the actress. Yes, you can nitpick. A lot of times, let's not forget that a lot of the posters that we see, a lot of the images that we see are retouch to make it look a certain way. The actors are retouch. But I think it looks really, really good. This is not a bad figure. It comes with all the accessories. I think the best part of this figure is the portrait. And we didn't see on the Ahsoka series, she didn't really did much But definitely in the moments that she had battles, she was definitely a contender. And I'm looking forward to see more of this character on the next season of Ahsoka. It looks really, really... I think she can be a great character. She's a neutral character. It's neither a Jedi nor a Sith, but there's a neutrality on this character. Now, you can see the arms look kind of tiny here. The way she is actually moving those hands. So it seems that he has the new body that they're doing now. The one that... This is a nice picture. I like that she has that cape. And looks great. I think this is a really nice figure overall. And a really well packaged. Her armor looks really nice. I saw someone, I think I was, I don't remember, one of those, talking about that it has like a more like a medieval, I saw somebody saying that it has more like a medieval style armor type. And I can see it now. I heard somebody saying it never really occurred to me that she looks more medieval on the armor. It's a very limited armor, but the clothing, and right there next to her mentor. And I love the scale difference, you know, the size difference, which really it's on point. Very nice. So Shin Hati looks great. She has the movable eye, so you can actually position the eyes. I think that is great. So you can come up with certain displays, certain things. I think that is a fantastic figure for sure. And I love the detail on her armor and her clothing. Really nice piece, $280. I think they did a really nice job with this figure. I think it's definitely one of the best figures that I've seen so far that they have done. I think it's the ones that we have revealed recently. Now we have Baylan Skoll. Of course, this is based on the actor Ray Stevenson, who passed away unfortunately last year. Great actor, did a lot, really have done really amazing portrayals in many movies that he was partaking and things that he did. A big loss for sure. But I think, yeah, the likeness maybe a little bit off in the portrait in some angles. Like this angle, it looks a little older than what the actor really is. But maybe that is the intention. But I think you can see Ray there. You certainly can see him there. So, yeah, he looks like a medieval knight for sure with his clothing. He's a lot taller, like an inch taller than Hati, which I think it's perfect. He was a tall man, so definitely they did a really nice depiction. He looks more like a Sith on this one, but looks really good. Very nice depiction. I think this is a really nice figure. Like, looking at it, I'm more impressed with it than I thought. I put more attention on the other one, but looking at it, I can see. Look at those eyes. Very well done. Great detail. And this one also has the, if I'm not mistaken, the movable eyes. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, you can see that separate rolling eyeballs. They look fantastic. And that detail on that sculpt on that hair, even the hair strands are really well done. Detailed custom with meticulous fabric selection. So really well done. I would say the Hot Toys craftsmanship has improved tenfold. It's getting better and better. It has the LED lightsaber powered by USB. That's another thing that the other hand that is great now, that you don't have to use batteries. And now with this USB chargers, that is just they come a long way. I think that's what I can see here. I don't know if it uses batteries, but it has the, no. Yeah, well, of course, you have to have the charging batteries that are charged by the USB. But what I'm saying is that it's really nice to see that it would come in a long way, and more companies are adding these chargers to the thing. And some companies are still holding on to batteries, but I would say that this is the way to do it. And it looks fantastic. And for the price, it look amazing. So, yeah, it's just a $285, $5 more than the other, but I think they did a really nice job with these two figures. So I would say, again, Sideshow doing amazing, well, no, Sideshow, Hot Toys doing amazing work as usual. Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, they're really fantastic figures. High recommendation if you're into this show and you're into Star Wars. They're must, in my opinion. They're characters that definitely, particularly Shin, we're going to see more of her, but her mentor is going to always be a big part of this story. So it's important to pay attention to that. So yeah, I like those figures. Here you can see those face sculpts look freakishly good. I just wish they would use more premium fabric for those prices. I think that's what they were saying on this, that the clothing is gonna get better, and I would say so. I think lately Hot Toys has been doing great with their figures. Like the figures are coming out with really nice clothing material. So we'll see what happens with this, of course. But I think Hot Toys has improved a lot in the tailoring of the stuff they're doing. They're really doing a lot of these hybrid things with actually they use materials that are more plastic, that they look like clothing. But here they say they're gonna use like you're gonna use some fabric here, and so of course they have to use the fabric on those capes and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's what you see here is what you're gonna get, but you never know. We'll know when that time comes. But here, of course, this is Hot Toys. All right, so my friends, we've already been here for an hour, which time flies and we get really excited. So let me take a break. We stopped with this. We were talking about figures right now, but I'm going to come back and we're going to start talking about statues. Again, we still have, we're going to just start with the statues with the companies, and we're going to continue on. We still got some way to go. We got Force Lab. We have McFarlane Toys. We have Sideshow Collectibles. So again, PCS, J&D Studios, Prime One Studio, Regal Robot. And finally, we're going to talk about, at the end of the video, we're going to dedicate some time to talk about Legendary Beasts and XM Studios and what we everything that has been shown so far and what I personally think that is happening or what's going to happen. So we're gonna share more of that. We're gonna talk and have a conversation about it. So hey, what's up, Batman? Just wanted to say a quick hello. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, Batman. I appreciate it, my friend. Always being a support. I appreciate that. So give me a couple of minutes. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and we continue on with all the stuff that we have tonight. But thank you again for taking the time.
It's getting harder. You turn my heart up. Throw me in water. I'm getting higher just to feel ya, cause I need to. No one knows it, heart is frozen from your poison. Taking the potion just to feel ya, cause I miss you. Oh my God, can't stop you like heroin. My love you got, there's no settlement. I can't pretend that we're not meant. Oh, I think I'm overdosing. I think that I'm overdosing. I think that I'm overdosing. It's getting stronger, can't take no longer. Walking the fire. I'm getting higher just to feel ya, cause I need to. Feels like I'm burning a little bit more, just a little bit more now. Taking the potion just to feel ya, cause I need ya. Oh my God, can't stop you like heroin. My love you got, there's no settlement. I can't pretend that we're not meant. Oh, I think I'm overdosing. 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 It's getting stronger. I think I'm overdosing. I think I'm overdosing. you're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay, won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne.
All right, my friends, how are you, everyone? Thank you very much for being here with me. I want to say thank you very much for spending the time tonight. I want to say to all of you, thank you, all of you, each one of you. Kenny, thank you for the conversations. Thank you for being here with me. But anyone else, everyone, we're back. Yes, we're back. I want to say to everyone, thank you. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget, if you're watching this, don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know you're watching it, just to say hello. I appreciate that too. That means a lot. And we continue producing these videos. Thank you. Yeah, so far, thank you for the conversation. I really enjoy it, the back and forth, and be able to share and have this conversation with all of you. Appreciate it. All right, so now we're starting with the statues again. We're gonna start with statues tonight. We're gonna really cover action figures, which is great. I love action figures from the different companies we cover. But I want to just take you. Let's start. Just get straight to the point. So let's go to. Let me take you. While we're here, let's go to Spec Fiction. And here at Spec Fiction, I'm gonna talk about this company that I never heard of them until now, and this week they have a new pre-order, which is this one, the Goddess of Dragon Grey statue. I think this is it's their own creation. There's nothing to do with anything else. It's their own Force Laboratory. I really don't know where this. I think this company is based in China so far. We're gonna go to their. I discovered their Facebook page, so we're gonna look at that. But this is $799. It's $800. Only edition size of 100 pieces, which is very limited. It's going to release, according to this, on the fourth quarter of 2024. Of course, it's always subject to change. But looking at this one, this is it says that with a crimson dragon parch and a volcanic rock, this fierce creature is accompanied by a warrior woman wielding a radiant sword. Adorned in black armor, she commands her fiery ally. It's standing at 23 inches tall. This unique statue has a low edition size of 100 pieces, which is very, very limited. Customers who pre-order within 24 hours of this listing going live will receive an 18 by 24 art print. And the dimensions are there, 14 by 20. That will be printed on 100% cotton rag, acid free. So the production of the character chains will be of greater thickness. Also, this marks Force Laboratories' debut original. This company does other things, but this is their original. This is the first thing that they have done that is their own design, their own style. To manage costs, orders may be refunded if final sales fall below 50 units. Okay. So definitely this is a small company, so this is very unique. Looking at it, of course, it's not based on anything, but the level of detail that they're doing with this one is really, really nice. As you can see, this dragon is, and I think the piece is just very unique. This is not for everyone. Let's keep that in mind. This is for people who are only interested on, in very unique items, very unique things. Like they want to have the. If you're a collector of rare pieces, then definitely this is one for you. That art print also, guys, gonna look nice right next to it. It's just different. It's just a very different thing. I love different things. I love unique things. I think the sculpt is nice. There's no size on it. It could be smaller. It could be even a 110. You can see the dimensions here. It's not really a big piece. It could be a 112. But in the dimensions, you can see the width is 68 centimeters, the depth is 58 centimeters, the height is 58 centimeters. So it's within, I would say, half a meter. So the dimensions here kind of give you an idea. For those who aren't familiar with this, it's like this, maybe half a meter. Meter is like something like this. So it's like this. So yeah, it has some really nice dimensions with the whole base. It's not small, it's not huge, but it's just perfect. And yeah, actually, it could take some real estate on display. So keep that in mind. Now, for kind of have an idea of this company, let me take you to Facebook. And we're gonna look at here. You can see my face, and we're gonna look at, what was the name again? My mind just went blank for a second. Force Laboratory, right there. It's called the Force Laboratory. There's a group. I think I just kind of enter this group. They don't have, it's a private group, but this is definitely what they're designed. They do all kind of things. Very limited things on their own, but this is their first real big project. But they have done other things, kind of like a lot of Star Wars stuff. They have done a lot of Star Wars stuff, which is more like a custom pieces, AT&Ts and all that stuff. These are more things that you privately, I wouldn't say they have a license, they just simply do, like, or they may have licenses, but they just kind of do things on their own, and they do amazing stuff. So I would say just look for this one, the Force Laboratory. Look for what they're doing. But this is the first project that is differs from everything they have done up to this point. It really differs from it, and it's just very unique. And I think this is the beginning of a company that has a lot of potential. They're really, and I think that's how they do. A lot of times these companies, in order to kind of bring funding, they start creating their own things, so that way they can have the money to start kind of going into the route they need to go to start producing licensed products. So many companies started that way. A lot of companies, a lot of the producers that you know, they started in the garage kit environment. They start creating their own things, copying other things, or doing things mostly for a very small audience or very small customers. But now they're going into a bigger route, and we'll see what happens. So we wish them luck. Honestly, we wish this company's luck. Yeah, the dragon is looking pretty good. Yeah, it does. So we wish this company good luck, and hopefully it's a great experience for them and for the customers that they're buying this from them. The stuff that they have produced on the stuff that we saw there, and I didn't want to go too deep on them because they may have they may get in trouble for licensed stuff. But I would say that the stuff that they're producing, that they have produced so far, people have been happy with the products that they have produced. So I don't think this is going to be any exception on the stuff they're doing now with the statue. So good luck to them. All right, my friends. So now I want to move. And I want to take you, let's go to McFarlane store, the McFarlane store, and we go in there, and we might not stay there forever, but we're going to go there because I want to look at the DC stuff, the DC multiverse here. Let's look at DC Direct. Of course, once DC Direct, DC Collectibles closed shut door, they went, McFarlane Toys took kind of the slack in some way, and now they're producing their own pieces. So this week, there's new releases, there's new statues. And in my opinion, they look really great. You can order this from many different vendors. Not necessarily you have to go to the McFarlane store, which is always more expensive with shipping. In my experience, when I purchase stuff from them, it's more expensive. So I would say price point on the gray yet. We'll see. Oh, you're talking about the dragon thing. Let me go back to the dragon. On the price of $800. I would say $800. It's a bit high, but I think based on what they're producing and the quality and the size, I think it's doable, and I think it's understandable. So we'll see what happens. But here you can see, and we're gonna look first at the 110. Let me go. Let's start first with we're going by scale. So let's start with the 110. Let's start with this, with the Batman Black and White by Bill Zienkiewicz resin statue. This is $124. The Black and White Batman collection still going strong. It's amazing. This is one of probably a lot of people were so sad, so worried, because they were thinking this is going to die out. And here, unfortunately, the pictures are not that well. The way the pictures are here. Let me see if I can open the image. This is the picture here. Here you can see it looks really good. Honestly, you know, based on the art of Zienkiewicz, of course, his art is you know, it's always been, you know, some people love it, some people hate it, but it's Zienkiewicz. And it's amazing to see that this collection, after all the years, is one of the most popular, was one of the most popular on their DC Direct. And ultimately, we still see it, and it's still popular. And the fact that McFarlane has been able to pick that up and continue on with the collection is a great thing. It's great news for a lot of collectors who love this line, who produce so many beautiful pieces. So it looks great. Of course, price point is more expensive than when they used to be, but let's keep in mind, of course, what you're looking at. But in my opinion, looks good. Let me see the other one. We're gonna look at this image here on the side. Here you can see the side of that. Really cool. The black and white collection, I never really got into collecting it much, but I can always see its appeal. And definitely one of the most spectacular collections there. You can see there. So $124 is going to release, according to this, sometime in July. So it's definitely this summer. Now, another 110 piece. This is Joker Purple Craze, the Joker by Andrea Sorrentino, this Italian artist who does a lot of stuff. Does a lot of horror stuff. He has a very peculiar art, like Gideon Falls from Image Comics, the horror, kind of realistic, but at the same time surreal type of art. This is $169. And this is, you know, not for everyone, I wouldn't say, but this is another part where, you know, they continue producing art based on, and this collection that they did with DC used to do the collection where they were selling characters based on the art of the artists that they have at DC. So this is technically what is a depiction of the Joker for that particular collection. It looks cool. It's not my cup of tea because honestly, I don't like to put a lot of money into villains. I've never been, only a few. Like I would say Megatron, I would say Skeletor or something, but other than that, like, and even Joker, I can go for a Joker, but like having different versions of Joker, demented Joker, it's never been my thing. It's never been like, oh my god, I have to have it. But it's kind of cool that they're going on their route. Look at this. This is another angle. That is a crazy depiction of him with the little, it's a weird way. It's a weird way to represent it, but I think there's definitely a market for it. There's certainly a market for the Joker doing crazy stuff. Interesting. Not necessarily a fan of the base because he says the Joker, but the way that the base is hidden there, you really don't see the name of the Joker or the title of Joker, so it's kind of necessary the way they did it. They could have just simply cleaned out that Joker title there out of there, just leave it clean, and I don't think it would have any effect on the piece. $170 for this one. Again, you can order through many different retailers. Now, I think the one that perhaps is very beautiful, and the one that is going to be also very tempting, and I think the price is really nice, $139.99. I think is better than the Joker, in my opinion, is this Zatanna by J. Scott Campbell. And I don't know if there's the artist here. This is designed, of course, by J. Scott Campbell, but it doesn't say. It does. I don't know who is the artist here, but here you can see other pieces they have. Some are sold out, of course, but here you can see. You know, I would say J. Scott Campbell's art has always been the type of art that is very hard to bring to life, and companies have done it. You know, some companies are doing. I would put, for example, Sideshow primarily as one. Here you can see, but it's always there's something off because the way he I don't know. It's like it's not an easy way to depict, in my opinion, to bring it in 3D form. But I think they did a good job. I feel that in some way the ratio with the legs and the body feels that the body is too small. Maybe it's just the picture itself. Still, it's a very tempting looking, very nice Zatanna statue. It looks really nice. Very cool. So this is one angle. And definitely will fit with a lot of the statues in that I have even from DC. I have a few statues definitely within this scale. And it will really look nice. Very nice depiction. Definitely the style of J. Scott Campbell, the way the body type. It's really a nice statue, as you can see. This is the other angle. I think this is gonna be perhaps one of the most popular of the bunch. Here you can see the front of the character. Very nice. I think this is a nice, and I think the price point is fair. So I think this is gonna be as popular. I would say that in some way, I don't know if it's the paint job or maybe the photograph, but I feel like it looks a bit too dark about the eyes. Maybe it's just the makeup that she's wearing, or the paint job that is imitating the makeup. It looks a bit too dark. Maybe they could have toned it down a bit. But of course, this is the prototype. More than likely, it's gonna be lighter on the tone when you get in this case, the production piece, when it comes out for sale. So we'll see what happens then, but definitely this has a lot of potential. It's not a bad price. 1/8 scale is the scale that we have with a lot of some DC stuff that I have here. So it'll be perfect fitting with a lot of the DC stuff, the DC collectible stuff. So nice to see again. Nice to see a company. Nice to see them really going into that route and keep doing the stuff that they keep producing. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, Dragon is looking good. Yeah, see, sorry for the interruption. I ended up checking. Thank you. Very unique Batman. Loving this art style. Yes, the Batman is good. Of course, Zienkiewicz is, of course, was going to be known for his amazing art. All right, so we'll see. Joker's looking creepy. Nice. I'm always enjoy a good villain. Looks like the Soul guy, Jigsaw. Yeah, he does. All right, guys. So this is what McFarlane is doing. Kudos to them for doing. And now we're gonna go to one of the big tickets of the night, and that is the reason why we're gonna go back to Sideshow Collectibles. And I want to go back to Sideshow because I want to talk about the biggest teaser that we have this week, which is the Hulk premium format. Now there's 4 different versions. The first 3 were revealed first, and then we have the classic premium format figure, which was the last 4th. Of course, we were teased early in the week about it, and it's fine. We're gonna kind of review each one of them. Let me start first with the one that was the most recent one, which in my opinion it's the one that I like the most. Not saying that I prefer over the others. I think each one has their own strengths. Each one has their own, they also their own weaknesses. Here you can see, maybe you can see the picture better here. Now, when I'm looking at this piece, when I'm looking at it, I like it. I'm not gonna deny it. I like it. I think there is a really nice depiction of the Hulk. Of course, there's concerns here, and but the initial take when we saw this picture, that was I think it looks great. I think the Hulk has that very nice look, kind of inspired on Sal Buscema's style with the long hair. Of course, that's the classic 1970s Hulk. That's the Hulk that I grew up with. That is the Hulk that I knew growing up, even in the 80s. You know, that is the type of Hulk. You know, is the savage Hulk. Is the very, you know, of course, you know, you're talking about Sideshow. He's more stylized, as you can see. So the musculature is a lot larger, it's bigger, exaggerated, and it's fine. He's launching, it's smackdown. He's ready to smack. It reminds me a lot of the Bowen designs, the Smackdown Bowen that I reviewed many years ago, which I love very, very much. One of my favorite Hulks of all time. It's still one of the best Hulks ever produced, in my opinion. And I as you know, if you follow the channel from the early years, I used to collect a lot of Hulks. I collected many of the Hulks, the best Hulks produced back then, and things from the 1/6 scale, you know, from Bowen, from Kotobukiya. So I produced the small stuff. I review the small stuff, but in my opinion, it's still a very, very, very nice depiction of the Hulk. So I like it. I think it's great. This is, oh, I'm getting all a text message from my daughter. Okay, so here, sorry for the interruption, but I think it looks great, you know. And there are a couple of things we're gonna look. Of course, there's concerns about other things, but this is the first thing we saw, and that was it, the first impression. Now we have the other version here, which is the Gamma Green, as they call it, Gamma Smash Premium format, and this is more of a more modern rendition of the Hulk, also in green. I think it's not a bad representation of it. The shirt is torn apart. I think looks great. It's huge, it's big. Of course, people say he has no neck, but it's a very exaggerated pose. But he has the short hair, I think it looks great. Of course, he has the gamma ray, more of the yellowish green, which some people are going to like too. I still prefer the other one. I still prefer the more classic green over this one. This still not a bad one for those. It's good that there's options here. Now we have the next one, the next teaser that was shown, which was this one, the Origins Premium, which is the Gray Hulk. This is of course trying to imitate the Jack Kirby style in some way, although it kind of deviates from that. I feel that it's more of a more modern Peter David era type of Gray Hulk. But it's fine. It's not bad. Of course, he has the color. I think the color choice is pretty good. A lot of people are fans of this Hulk. A lot of people enjoyed this Hulk. I think that they prefer this color over the other one. No, I think it's great. I think I'm kind of like between that green and the gray. These are my two favorites. I think these are my two favorites. And then, of course, Gamma. Although I will tell you one thing, and I know people were pointing this out because the next one, the next teaser, as you can see, is this one right here, which is Thunderbolt Ross. General Ross right here. This is a lot of people not necessarily liking it. They say, well, they didn't like the fact that he was too big and bulky and should it be smaller. And I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think so. I think it looks great. I think the sculpt looks great. The portrait looks great. It looks like Ross. And you know, when you come to think about Sideshow, Sideshow has done, this is part of the history of Sideshow. Like, let's keep that in mind. Sideshow over the years had done multiple Hulks and has done multiple variants of Hulk. So for them to do the same piece and you kind of tweak it a little bit to do different variants, it's nothing new. It has been done. Now, I want to show you something here, and I'm going to go to Facebook. Here, let's go to Facebook because I want to show you. Maybe we can see the video that we saw of the Hulk. Maybe they have it here. I saw it there. If not, we'll look at YouTube. There was a video. Maybe it's here available. Now they have so much stuff nowadays that it's hard to keep up. It's more like ad after ad after ad. I don't know if there's there. Right there. No, that's not what I'm going to look at. Here is the... Maybe we can access it. All right, so this is the video we saw. Let me pause a little bit of that music there. Maybe I can stop it. All right, there. To avoid any type of being penalized by YouTube. But here you can see, this is the video. I think it looks great. Looking at that portrait, even Ross looks amazing. Very active. Of course, this is a Daniel Bell sculpt. And he did a fantastic digital sculpt. He had sculpted all of them. I think he did a fantastic job. Look at that girl. I don't know how big she is, how tall she is. But that, I think it's a very nice depiction, very rounded. It's like, it looks good. I like it, you know, like some people are concerned. They said that they didn't like the sculpt or the expression or not. I think it's good. Not everything has to be certain way. So people trying to compare it with the Legendary Beast stats, saying the Legendary Beast stats are much better. You're always going to see these comparisons, unfortunately. You're going to see always, like a lot of collectors always bring in the comparison up, but this one is better, or that one is better. And it's more about what they chose to buy, what they have in their collection. And they feel when somebody else is bringing something, they feel like they feel threatened and they have to say, well, this is mine is better. And to me, it's like, you know, yeah, yours is good. It perhaps one of the best ever that has been ever created. But this one also has its beauty. You know, I think all art is beautiful. I think all the depictions of Hulk, you know, I don't see a Hulk being the ultimate definition of Hulk because there's so many variants of Hulk. You know, as I mentioned, I grew up with the classic Sal Buscema Hulk, but also over the years, I developed a like of you know, all the different Hulks over the years. I love many artists and the depiction. I love John Byrne's depiction of the Hulk. I love the depiction that was done later, of course, by other artists, or the Peter David's run. I love the 90s Hulk. There's so many different variations of the Hulk. There, you know, there's so many. Jack Kirby did fantastic too. Of course, the original, you know, Hulk is a character so big in so many different forms that there's no lack thereof of depictions of the Hulk. And it's always, as far as I remember, there's been so many different variations. So I think it's great the way they're doing it. Another thing, if you go, for example, to let's say to here in YouTube, let me take you to YouTube, for example. Now let's look at Daniel Bell, for example. I don't know if you can see it. Daniel Bell. I don't know if it's there. It might not be there. So let's go to Facebook. I think you can see it. Daniel Bell, if you follow his channel, I think on YouTube, but also you can follow here. He is he actually had a video yesterday where he was talking to other artists. He always does. I like Daniel. I think he's becoming more and more a very you know, a person that really, I don't have it here, but Daniel Bell is becoming, if you follow him on YouTube, if you look at YouTube, he is being really kind of showcasing a lot of the art, the process of the art. I think he's phenomenal. He has done fantastic as an artist, continue to do so. And let me go back here. Maybe I can find it. Right there. Right there. Found it here. Daniel Bell. You know, if you follow him on YouTube, like he always has these videos where he's talking to other artists about the process of the art. I think he does really nice. I don't know if there was a live video here. Yeah, there's a live video here. There's a live video right here. This video right there. Sideshow Special, Deep Down PF and Hulk PF. So this was definitely, he's showcasing the process of the sculpt. He's talking. I think most of this video, I'm not sure if it's in English, but it is in English actually. So I didn't get the opportunity to really watch it. I saw it, but here's talking about Deep Down, the interview, of course, the interview other artists every time they do something. But here's look at the process. It's a really nice video, as you can see, where they are really pinpointing the stuff they do here. It's not a bad video, so I recommend anyone to watch it. You want to really know more about Daniel Bell's work. I think it's the place to go is to see how the artists work and operate, and he kind of points the stuff that they have done. So, you know, sometimes people are very critical about the Hulks, and in my opinion, that is the way that when people look at certain Hulks and certain things, what I'm talking, they see, look at the characters. There's so much richness that sometimes it's hard to just say, oh, this is based on this or this and based on that. I kind of lost my train of thought, so I'm sorry. I was thinking I was reading also the notes, but what I'm saying is that the artists have so many inspirations in order to come up with what they do, and the process that they do in order to create that inspiration, it's something that is so enriching. So it's important to listen to what they have to say, because sometimes you realize, oh, this is the reason why they did it the way they did it. And to me, I think they are fantastic. I loved what I see here. I definitely see Sal Buscema there. I see the art. It looks really well done. That is a really nice Hulk. At the different angles, you can see that some people saying that it looked like the body wasn't, you know, the proportions weren't good. But I feel that when you look at it from certain angles, then you can see the proportions. You can see the musculature. And I was talking to Eric Sosa a long time ago, like last year, on my podcast, and we were discussing the reason why he does what he does, because sometimes people say that they over exaggerate things. I think it's but he says that is what really sells the art. He was telling me, and I totally believe it. Exaggeration is a big part of the art, and the exaggerated form, you can have a very boring pose and everybody's okay, but when you add muscles, big muscles and top of muscles, that really attracts the view. It's attractive visually, and a lot of people kind of circulate around it, particularly the generation that likes to collect things nowadays. You know, they're collectors, they still kind of settle on the old ways of things, and it depends on your age group, I guess. But I think the exaggeration is a big part of building the art, making something that looks totally different. And I think with this Hulk, they're doing that. Is it the best depiction of Hulk? That is just a matter of opinion. You know, I think it's a very subjective question, because there's always going to be Hulks. There's so many variations of Hulk, and I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think there's so many great Hulks. At the end of the day, it's what speaks to you. If you love one over the other, if you think the LBS, the Legendary Beast, is the best ever, by all means. But believe me, like, I've been in this hobby for so many years, to the point that they say that now, the same people, they say one thing, they flip-flop, and when the next thing comes out, so that's the best thing. So it's always the best thing for now. There's always going to be something else, and all different depictions are fine. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of what you prefer. Now, my concern, and I want to be honest with you, the biggest concern, and I totally own that, is that, yeah, in paper, it looks fantastic. The launching of this, the way the Hulk, you can see how he's launching, how he's jumping, that, it looks cool on the design aspect. when they're designing it. The only issue that I have with this is the engineering side. Are they gonna be able to pull it off? Because the problem that we have with Sideshow has always been the leaning, and I definitely would have a problem with that. You know, I think that this is gonna be more prone to lean based on what they have done. They definitely gonna need a big rod, a very sturdy rod that goes all the way from the top, I would say from the knee part, all the way down and sits well there. But as we have seen in the past, the likeness of this to happen, it's hard, because at the end of the day, this is left in the hands of the factory. The factory is going to cut corners to make it look good. But in the end of the day, as we have seen before, this is the likeness of this to lean is high, and the only way that it cannot lean, or at least it can be protected for leaning, would be for them to make the whole Hulk as a kind of like an eggshell. You know, it has to be very light, and that is definitely not also good, because, you know, now you're really risking more quality too in order to make this post look good, just to look good. But then you have a statue that is not heavy. You know, there are a lot of things there. Let me read some of the comments before we continue with this. Here, Red Hulk looks amazing. I think so too. Super underrated character. I like the portrait. I think they did a fantastic job with Hulk. So many amazing old pieces in all scales. Yep. And Scar Maestro and Red Hulk are 3 of my favorite characters. Yeah, I was thinking that when they were showcasing the 4, they have the little teaser picture with 4 in the background. You couldn't see just the shadow. I was thinking, man, it would be nice if they have a Maestro, or it would be nice if they have like a Scar statue, or even a Gladiator Hulk. But they went for this color, which is technically swaps. The only difference would be, of course, some of the changes. Of course, the paint job. The portraits are different. There's, of course, 3 of them, they have the clothing. Only one doesn't have the ripped shirt, but everything else kind of like that. But it would be nice to have other versions. Now, let me kind of give you an idea of what we see. For example, when we look at Sideshow Hulks, Sideshow has always done so many different variations of Hulks over the years. Let me see if we can see them here. Look at this Hulk, for example. Like this one right here. This one, this Hulk right here. This comic kit, which I did own at some point. I got the green one. This comic kit has like the red version. They got the gray version. They got the green version. They have different versions. This one, also this one. Even the original PF, that has different colors. They got the gray one. They got the green one. I don't remember if they got anything else. I think it was just the gray one and the green one. The gray one, it was the more hard to come by, more exclusive, but I think the green one was the better one. This one, for example, the Sideshow Hulk Avengers Assemble, there were different colors for that one. They were green, they got the red one, they got the gray one. So the same they did with this statue right here. This red one, there's the green one, the classic. So, you know, Sideshow has done so many different variations over the years as a whole. The Marvel King Hulk, they also have the, what was that, the Gladiator one, but they also have the Planet Hulk. So they have the different variations. So, you know, there's never been a lack of, you know, pieces from Sideshow in the sense of Hulk. There's been so many different variations of different scale. That Scar statue, that premium format, now they ask for $1,700, which is, it blows my mind how much people are asking for the statues. There's always been variations of Hulk, and Sideshow has been always at the forefront of creating these amazing pieces. And it's cool, you know, it's cool to see that. It's cool, you know, it's nice to see that Hulk still gets the love and they continue to produce statues. Here you can see, for example, this one right here. I don't know, you can see it right there. The green, the red, the gray, for the different variations of that. The rock looks nice. I think I always like that rock. So they always do it. So this is no different than anything they have done in the past, in the sense that the history of it, doing the same, just tweaking things around and do different variants. Some people are gonna go for all of them because it's always gonna be the guy that has too much money to spend and no common sense. But at the end of the day, that is why we are in this hobby. We're collectors. So I think that is, you know, it's not gonna be a lack of people buying the same thing. My favorite again is the classic. I think the gray follows. I do like Hulk. I do like the Red Hulk. I think I even like it more than the Gamma Smash Hulk. So I would say the Gamma perhaps is my least favorite. And also it's the favorite for some other people. But I do like the Red Hulk. I like that the General Ross portrait. I think is fantastic. I think each one has a strand. I think again that Daniel did a fantastic job once again on this. My concern is that maybe he went too crazy with the pose, maybe just trying to make it look cool because it looked cool on paper when you're designing it. But on the practicality of it, on the engineering of it, that is going to be very challenging, you know, to have there and not to have a leaning. The other pieces that we have there, that we saw, all the Hulks by Sideshow, they have their 2 feet on the ground. This one is technically jumping in the air. And that is just one big rod that needs to be set there, and the factories never put a big rod. They don't, unfortunately. I get to the point I realize the factories are just gonna cut corners to avoid, you know, to reduce costs and to make it more, you know, for them and also for Sideshow. And ultimately the customers are the ones that have to stay with statues that lean, and we have seen a lot of new statues that they're very, very dynamic and they're leaning. So that is the part where I say that other companies, yeah, you may want to have a lot of dynamic stuff because I love action poses, but I realize that in the end, a classic museum pose never goes out of style, not because it's the most dynamic or the craziest or the most appealing, but it's because it's the more secure. You know, it's the safest bet you can have on a piece that is going to look the same, it's going to always look great over the years, it's not going to have any issues, and it's going to be it's a better investment in the end because of that, just because of that. So yeah, I would say kudos to Sideshow. I like them. We don't know the price point. I think, in my mind, it's going to be around the $700 mark. It could be less, but based on what we're seeing now with Sideshow, with everything, I think $700 is going to be around the price they're gonna have this statue. So we'll see. Again, I'll go for the classic, go for the gray, go for the red or the gamma. I think the options are there. There is something for everyone. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let me drink some water, my friends. All right, my friends. And don't forget again to leave a like on the video. Let me know you're watching. But thank you for taking time. Thank you for your time. All right. So while we are here, actually, I'm going to go here because we can go and look at this Devastator here at Sideshow. It's super expensive, $4,000. But we're gonna go to actually PCS. Let me go to collect PCS, Premium Collectible Studio. And the reason why we're coming here is because this Devastator, if you order directly from Premium Collectibles website, the official website, then you are able to get an extra, extra part that doesn't come with that's not gonna come to the others. So you get the exclusive version, the platinum version as they call it here. Now, this is another win for the Kuchar brothers. One thing I would say about the K-Bros is that the K-Bros have always been amazing in my book. They have so many things under their belt, so many art that they have done, so many different things, so many franchises they design, so many things. It's just amazing how talented they are, how how they can multitask in so many ways. They can create some art for this and create some. They can sculpt. They can, design in a way that is fantastic. They can do Star Wars today. They can do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today. They can do Transformers. You name it. They're willing. Marvel. They do anything that is in front of them. They do the affair. Now, this is expensive, but the edition size is very, very limited for this particular edition. 75 pieces only for this exclusive. It's a museum scale, so it's there's no real scale. It's just within the stuff they have done, within the stuff that they have done in this particular collection, where they did Megatron, they did Optimus Prime. You can buy up to 3. I think if you want to just flip the money and sell it, but here is what you can get with this one. It's amazing. The constructed comes right here. And look at this one. I think this part, as you can see, it's part of the exclusive. Let me go back and read that. Let me see it before we get into the pictures. It says, take your collection to new heights. Additional details, maybe. Prototype sample. Okay, it doesn't say. They still have the Grimlock classic scale. I still gotta get that one. I like the classic scale. Too bad that they stop it, man. All right, the platinum exclusive version of Devastator also includes 2 additional swap out hits. Cool. as well as a swap out right hand without the blaster and a swap out drill attachment for the left arm. These additional pieces are offered collectors the chance to create a number of unique displays. PCS Platinum exclusives also include a statue cleaning kit, metal certificate of authenticity, and a chance to win a real 1-ounce Platinum PCS collector's coin, as well as a Ruby ticket worth $200 in PCS loyalty points, which I think is a great deal. You buy directly from them. So you get the extra swap outs, the extra portraits. You can see the different swap outs of the portraits and the weapons. It has a gun in there, a hand, the drill, I think. The drill too, you know? I think the drill too. And then you got, of course, the cleaning kit that they offer, the platinum coin, the platinum, you know, certificate of authenticity that they do now. I think it's kind of cool, you know, because PCS was one of the companies for many years that they did the certificate of authenticity, which is a regular cardboard thing. And the old PCS and now this new PCS is kind of revamping that and giving you a much better deal, or at least something that looks like even more premium. I like it. I think Devastator looks amazing, and they went more for the classic look in some way. Of course, it's not totally 100% like classic. They kind of modernized it a bit. They changed a little bit, but it looks fantastic. 45 inches in height is pretty tall. So many stuff, so not enough money. I know, man. I know. This is an ultimate rendition. Now, price is scary high. I would say it's too much, in my opinion. They should have just priced it for a little less. But let's keep in mind, and I was talking actually the guy that I don't remember now, one of the viewers of the channel some years ago, when actually Devastator was fine. They showcased Devastator initial concepts when they were doing the classics, the small stuff, and they were doing some of the stuff. But I think that the demand wasn't there for a lot of the Transformers during that time. I did encounter a lot of roadblocks. People were not buying them. So Ann Adams decided not to kind of cancel and not to continue on with the classic stuff, or even with, you know, the classic look, and they decided not to do it. So Devastator was already in the projects. They was already in the plans. They already have some designs. They already have a lot of things. They couldn't continue on. So a lot of people, since that cancellation, were after them, talking to Ann, always sending messages asking, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? They were always after him, chasing him for that. And ultimately, I think they won and gave in. So, yeah, he's releasing it, but in a very limited number. But because at the end of the day, it's a big loss in some way. But I'm telling you, I think they did a fantastic job. It looks terrific. It's a very nice statue. Overall, look at the different weapons and display options that you can have. It's gonna look so impressive on display. It's just well done. The only thing that this would make this the perfect depiction of Devastator, of course, it would be he can transform, but that is not the case. It looks really cool. Very well done for sure. Look at that. Nice paint job. I like that they used the purple on the base and the Decepticon logo there. The different choices for display. It's a very nice depiction. Devastator looks amazing, in my opinion. Now, it's expensive, of course. Here you have this version, but if we come to Sideshow, as you can see at Sideshow, actually the gun is part of the regular. This is the one that you're gonna get there. So as you can see, the price, the only difference with the price, if you come here to Premium Collectibles, you're gonna pay $35.10 for the Platinum exclusive. It's more expensive to get it from them, from Sideshow, that is to get it from Premium Collectibles. So I would say go for it, because right now current price reflects PCS 10% earlier pre-order window discount, additional $176. So it's actually cheaper right now if you get the discount plus all the loyalty points, all of that. So they're getting a much better deal if you buy directly than you do from Sideshow. But now Sideshow, you only get the regular. So he has the weapon, but he doesn't have the interchangeable portraits. It's the same portrait. In my opinion, if you're gonna pay this type of money at this price point, might as well order directly, so you can get all the extra parts. Because I would feel so bad that I only get this and I'm missing on the switch out parts. I will feel like very dumb if I spend this type of money. So I would say, but of course everyone is different. Some people might not be able to get the other one for many reasons. So I would say that right now, your best bet, or you come here to Sideshow, I will go to PCS and get it from them. And you get all those swap out parts, the hands. I think this one only has the weapon. Yeah, it does have the weapon. It doesn't have interchangeable hand. It just has the gun there. Here you can have a hand without the gun. You can have the different hits. I love the shouting portrait, and of course the drill. So it's a much better deal. Definitely going to the website is the way to go. I want it all. Me too, man. I want it all. Yeah, that is a very nice depiction right there. All right, let me drink some water. All right, so let me take you now. Beautiful piece, expensive, no doubt about it, really expensive. But let's go to J&D Studios. Well, actually, let's go to Spec Fiction. We can go to J&D. J&D release this piece, which a lot of people are excited. Now talking about top dollar, talking about this type of money. J&D is up there too. And they have a 1/3 scale. A 1/3 scale statue based on this this actress, a South Korean actress. This is based on a film which I never watched, but according to I was doing some research, it's one of the most popular. It has become kind of like a classic in some way from the early 2000s, I think. Film, crime type of thing. It's a gambling film based actually on manhwa, which is the Korean manga based on a story. They created this film that was very successful, one of the most praised cult classic, you can call it like that. They love this film, and they did the representation of this actress who was in this portraying this part in this film, in this crime film. And the movie's name is Tassa the High Rollers. And again, it's based on gambling and these young people that actually get into this world of crime and gambling. And it's one of those. If you're into this type of movies, you should watch it. Not necessarily I like those type of movies, never been a fan. But it's Madame Jeong. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm terrible at pronouncing with Korean, Chinese, all of that. I'm terrible at that. So my apologies if I try to sound the perfect way, but in my American way, sometimes you sound like that. It's Madame Jeong. I think that's what I pronounce it. And then Kim Hye-soo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kim Hye-soo. Kim Hye-soo. I'm butchering this, so my apologies for this actress. And I seen someone, like I was watching some videos of her, and she looks great. She's up there. She's not that young, but she looks great. I think that's something that I would say from my perspective as a person that, as a Latino man, when I look at Asian people, and I can say that they consider themselves, they look in a way, they still look young. She looks the part. And when you look at J&D with this statue, you look, of course, it's made of silicone. It has those eyes, like medical degree type of silicone, and the eyes and the rooted hair. They did a really nice job. Even the base with the table, and of course, this is, I think she's owner of casinos in the film or something like that. I don't know. If you know about this film, let me know what you think. I think that it's been highly praised, highly sold out. It's one of the most praised. There were a lot of awards for that film, and I think she looks fantastic. Plus, I think she looks great on this statue. It looks like the real thing. It looks like the real thing. But look at that. This already sold out. If you go to the J&D Studio website, sold out in a matter of, I think, minutes. Something that is so common for J&D to do. But it looks so realistic, like a miniature version of the actress on a statue. J&D is amazing. Of course, this is actually the actress. As you can see, she looks very, very young, but she's not that young. This was in the early 2000s. She's been acting. I was reading that she's been acting technically since the 80s, when she acted in commercials. She was a model commercials in South Korea, and of course her career took over. She started making movies, and as a teenager doing all this stuff in the 90s. And definitely she's a famous actress, well known, well renowned. She's doing stuff still now. She's doing some stuff also, I think, on Netflix right now. So this looks phenomenal, and definitely she's really pretty for sure. So man, I love the table and the detail on the table. This is a very unique style. Now the edition size, it says that it's to be disclosed, but if we come to J&D Studios, you go to their website, here we can see the home. I think it's here somewhere, or maybe it's no longer here. It might no longer be there, or it might not be there. I saw it, I think, on Facebook. I think because it might not be here because it was technically only for the Korean market. So let me go to J&D Facebook, J&D Studios Facebook. I think there were only like 200 made. I think if I remember well, if I remember correctly, which I may not, but I think I saw when I was kind of going through the information that there were like 200 to be made. Right there, as you can see. We pre-ordered episodes 2 made by Jane Duke, character. Yeah, right there. Limited ES of 200 pieces. Gonna release on the third quarter of 2025, so it's gonna be a long wait for this one. Only 200 pieces. Now, when you come to think of it, this is one of the most popular, one of the most influential films of modern times in South Korea. One of the films that actually, I think, is at the one of the that brought so much revenue, made so much money. I think it's the second most profitable film in the history of South Korea. That film, in Korea, which she's a famous actress, she's well known. We'd say, but they kind of going for that market in Korea. And Korea, I was looking at the numbers. South Korea has like a population of like 52 million people, which is a really large number for a country. And it's one of the most important economies in the world right now. It's still a developing country considered this way, but I think it's within the top 20 in the world. I think it's number 17 or something of the best economy, or the strongest economies in the world. It's one of the most affluent countries in Asia, where there is a lot of people who make good money. Yeah, so the point is that there's a lot of people with money there. So what I'm saying is that when you make 200 pieces in a population of 50 million of a character, of an actor that is super popular in the country, you're definitely going to sell it. It's just mathematics, and I know some people would say, because sometimes they're trying to point out the fact of, okay, they sold it out, so that makes them special. I don't think that that's a special number. I don't think it's surprising. I think it's just the reality. Like when you do the maths, you bring something that everybody wants, so everybody likes, and you put it in an economy where people are able to buy it, people are going to buy it more than sure. There's plenty collectors in South Korea alone. So I think this is a great, just from the get-go, it was really not set to fail. It was set to win. So, and it looks, for J&D, only doing 200, it looks like actually they're on top of the world. Now, when you look at this one, of course, here, you can go actually to YouTube. And I'm gonna show you, you can actually watch this video from J&D Studios. There is actually, you need to follow their channel you haven't followed. And here, of course, they present this stuff. They have this video. They have the video, the interview with the actress. Very cool. Kim Hoi-soo. This actor, Madame Young. I think Madame Young. I make sounded like an American, my Westerner accent. But here, this is the actress. And of course, this video, it's kind of showcasing her. She's looking at the statue, her opinion of it. Very cool. Of course, it's translated. They're speaking in Korean. But very, very, very interesting. It's a very nice statue. Again, they did a fantastic job with it. It really represents this film. It's a great depiction. And really, really interesting to see what the J&D's continues to do as a company. They are definitely doing really interesting, intriguing, amazing stuff for sure. Wow. A very, 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 very nice touch. I'm looking at it. I'm just impressed. I'm really impressed. Gotta be honest with you. Impressed what this company is continuing to do. I feel that there's no lack of imagination. There's no lack of ability for these companies to do amazing work. J&D's at the top with what they're doing, of course, and bringing the silicone, which is becoming such a thing that is more common and popular nowadays, not only from them doing the figures that they're now going to produce, but also other companies, Queen Studios and you name it, Infinity Studio. Some other companies are doing silicone stuff. We're going to see more. I mentioned that last week. We're going to see a lot more of these materials. But this is a nice statue. Yeah, you sold me. I need to check out the film. Yeah, I think it's they said it's a great film. And I haven't really watched it, but I'm actually looking. I'm gonna watch it because I saw some of the excerpts. They say it's one of the best films in the history of South Korea. It's one of the most praised and has a lot of awards. It really explores the power of youth. It explores the ideas of youth. In some ways, it kind of reminds me a little like Akira, but it's just kind of in some way that the youth and how impetuous they are, how strong-headed, strong-willed, and the way they want to win. Of course, the protagonist gets into a relationship with this lady in the film, so it's so much stuff. It's a really, if you like criminal stuff, you like noir stuff, you like all that, definitely you're going to enjoy this film for sure. So I'm definitely gonna look for it, and I'm gonna watch it. So we'll see. All right, so this is the statue the ND Studio released this week, and they sold out in South Korea. If you want to get it here, of course, Spec Fiction is your way to do it. Of course, they had an allotment, so they get the chance to have some, so you can order from them and get some of it. I think it looks fantastic. It really looks great. Look at that portrait right there. All right, let's go to Prime One Studio. Let's go to Prime One, the good and faithful Prime One Studio, always releasing stuff. And this week they have 2 releases, as you can see. Maybe you can see on the title right there. We're gonna start first with the smallest, which is this 1/6 scale diorama Rimmuru, Ranga, and Benimaru. This is from that time I got reincarnated as slime. I never really watched this. I don't know. I think it's an anime or a manga. I'm not necessarily. No, it says right here. Also known as Tensei Shitara Tsurami Data Ken in Japan, the series follows the story of a one Satori Mikami, a 37-year-old salaryman whose state stabbed and reincarnated into a fantasy world as a simple blue slime. He's renamed as Rimmuru Tempest and embarks on a journey to create a utopia in this world, forging new alliances and friendships along the way. So I think this is a manga turned anime, I think. So I might be wrong, but here you can see there's a video. You can watch the video you like. Maybe we can see it a little bit. I will tell you one thing, and this is 1/6 scale. Now this is part of the Prisma wing, which they've been doing a lot of more Japanese anime, Japanese style sort of thing. And here you can see, maybe in this video, kind of give you an idea of that and all the creatures. Believe me, I don't know much about this. I haven't really watched any of this or anything. I didn't even get the opportunity to really get into it. But I would say when Prime One Studio does these dioramas, when they do these dioramas with so many different characters and interchangeable parts, I always enjoy what they do. I think they do amazing work. And this is a very interesting diorama. Of course, this is not for everyone. If you're a Marvel fan, you collect Marvel stuff, you don't care about this stuff. But it's really nice to see a company that is doing really cool stuff like this. Prime One Studio, it's so diverse in what they do, and definitely they do have an inclination for the Asian market. Of course, the Japanese market, they produce a lot of stuff that really hits well in Japan, but also hits well around the world, and it looks really, really neat. So very nice diorama. Again, this is 1/6 scale. Now, to give you an idea, the deluxe version, bonus version, comes with an interchangeable portrait, if I'm not mistaken. Now this is a 1/6 scale. It's going to be made out of polystone, which is great, because the thing is this: when they were doing a lot of, and initially with Prisma Wing, everything was made out of PVC, but now with Prisma Wing, it seems that they're going a bit more premium. They were doing some statues where they were kind of hybrids between PVC and also a lot of parts made out of PVC and polystone, I'm sorry. So they had a lot of stuff still made out of PVC. But now it seems that they're going all the way into more of the polystone. So Prisma Wind is definitely kind of becoming a little more premium in quality, and not only the cheap stuff. And that is one of the reasons why the price is high like this, which I find it very expensive. But you know, it's all out of polystone. It's not just it's not PVC, and definitely looks really cool. It's not for everyone, but looking at those pictures, very interesting. Again, I know nothing about this series, anime series or manga series, but definitely the art, the detail, and I'm sure whoever is a fan, they're gonna love it because it just looks cute. It looks good. It looks cute and good. It looks well done, and it's crazy. One thing I would say about Prime One Studio is always the amount of detail they add on the statues. It's always amazing. And they have like 126 pictures. We're not gonna look at them all, but you're welcome to look at all. But yeah, that looks really nice. Very nice with all the switch out parts. It looks really cool. So yeah, this is a nice statue. Pricey, definitely, but this is just for the fans. This is not for everyone else. Here you have Dobby, and this is for Harry Potter. This is a half scale, 100. It's gonna be an edition size of $300, $900. I think the price is fair for half scale, but this guy is not that big, just to think of it. We look at this, the bonus part, you get like a little cake, which kind of look good. The dimensions here, I don't know if you can see it. It's gonna be 55 centimeters in height, which is half a meter, over half a meter. But we're looking at this. Let's look at this. You know, I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, but I have respect for what they do. This was showcased last year on one of the showcases, and they finally were able to see it. So, you know, they showcase a lot of stuff, you know, last year through the different showcases. A lot of stuff they hasn't been seen the light of day yet. But as you can see, it's in time there, you know, and that is a reminder that a lot of these projects takes time. They're not done overnight. A lot of these projects, they definitely take a little while. And I think it's a regular museum pose. It's fine. You can see 31 centimeters, 38 centimeters, 55 in high. This is definitely for the fans of Harry Potter. It will look good in a display for sure. If you're a fan, although this guy is ugly as heck, but if you're a fan, then why not? You go for it. Really interesting. Simple, but at the same time, it looks really cool. Creepy in its own way, but it looks really cool. Let me drink some water and read some of the comments right there. I'm still trying. Okay, there's so much anime out there, old and new. I'm still trying to learn about One Piece, so my daughter thinks I'm cool. I gotcha, man. One Piece. Ugh. Yeah, I lost track of One Piece long time ago. Like, there's so many things. I'm like, I like to play the video games, but I can. But you ask me about One Piece, no. You ask me about Dragon Ball, I'll tell you the whole story. But you ask me about One Piece, I'm like, no. Or even say the Sensei, I like, you know, Knights of the Zodiac. I know all of that, but One Piece is just like, oh man, that's too much for me. Naruto, that was too much for me too. Although, you know, I'm a fan and I kind of watch and play and all that. But One Piece on my daughter. This is cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's kind of, the guy looks creepy, but at the same time, he looks creepy in a kind of cool looking way. He doesn't look that bad, you know, I think, and the cake looked kind of nice. So that is not bad. All right, so let me take you back. Well, actually, no, we're not going to take it back. We're going to go to Regal Robot. They have another release, and they have this right here. Then for Indiana Jones fans, they have the Sankara stones deluxe. They have actually different variations of the Sankara stones. As you can see, they have a lot of things. Of course, they always have the little pro replicas and stuff. They got the Sankara stone magnets, which I that is cool in my book. You can see for $29, they're actually magnets. It's a magnet. So they all kind of come together and you can magnetize them. They've been doing like these little magnets and stuff and you can put, I don't know, you want to put it in your fridge or something. That is actually kind of cool for, and I think the price is fair. Now you can purchase a Sankara stone, although I found them very expensive. Look at this one, just the one. You only want to have one stone, an alternate stone, a separate stone, one that you can carry. Here you can see there is a limited reserve year before March 12th, which technically we only have this week. But here are the Sankara stones. There you can see you get a certificate of authenticity, as you can see right there. I like actually the base, the wooden base that they use, a very classic wooden base. And of course you got the number edition, you got the Indiana Jones logo, that the metallic. Now the only thing that I would say about this stones is that, of course, you remember the film, and this is of course is based on Indiana Jones. What was that? This is the second film, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Temple of Doom. So when you look at Temple of Doom, of course, these were kind of like an amber. You can see the light that was coming through them. This don't have that. They're very more opaque. You know, they're more like, you know, they're not see-through, which it's kind of like a bummer. It would be nice if there would be more like you can see like amber stone, amberine or something like that. They use polystone, they create the form, and they come up with that. But if we'd have seen that, in my opinion, it would have been a lot better. Now, this is a replicas based on the original replicas they were used in the film. So you can see some of that, but I feel like maybe it's my view, maybe the way I see it. I don't know, it just... Now, is this alternate stone? Let me look at what actually they mean by alternate stone. I'm looking at it. Now you know the magic of the rock. When Indiana Jones stumbled upon a small village that has lost a polished stone that they believe brought prosperity, it leads him to the hunt for fortune and glory. Exclusively available through our site, this new archive collection pro replica is based on the specific Sankara stone prop that Indy hands to the village shaman at the final Indiana Jones at the Temple of Doom. This stone has feature that makes it unique from the stones included in our deluxe set. Okay, so this is different. This stone has features that make it unique. It can be displayed alongside the set or as a standalone artifact. Okay. Cast in heavy solid polyurethane resin, the replica stone weighs well over a pound for a wonderful sense of heft. The brown tinted casting has several types of particles embedded and a subtle, translucency that allows those to show through from the inside. After casting and polishing, each replica is hand painted by the artist in our New York studio. Okay, so yeah, so it does have like a little bit of amberine type of look, but at the same time, it looks more opaque than actually look in the film, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just wrong. I have to go back. It's not translucent as it says it is. It does have more like an amber look, but not necessarily so, in my opinion. And when you buy the deluxe version, they all come together like this. Then you got the replica by itself as standalone. But I think they're the same because also these are separate. So there's technically the same thing. You only get it in one. If you remember in the film, there were actually 5 stones. And here are more stuff. Kind of cool. Now my problem is with this, and I gotta be honest with you, I found these replicas, as long as they kind of look cool, I found the replicas too expensive. Here is the other one, $700 for this set. I personally think that is too much money for this. Believe me, I know places, even if I go, like last year we went to Mexico. I took my family, my daughter went there. We went to I know places in Mexico where my daughter has a side business where she sells stones and rocks and all that kind of stuff. And I know places where you can go and buy stones and kind of get natural stone, the polyurethane stone that is just man-made. You can get actual stone and you can come up with so many different things that actually better stones than this. And you can pay a fraction of the price. They could have done something like that. So with natural stone, rather than have polyurethane, which actually is polystone resin stat. Is this a resin? An artificial stone. They could even do a more natural stone and still sell it for less. But I found that, on the other day, of course, it's just the licenses that they have and what they have to sell. For $700 for this, I just find it expensive. I think the best price would have been no more than $500. It looks cool, but I don't think cool to the level to say, I would even say $300 for the set. 100 piece. Because there's not really like, you don't have like little parts to assemble. It's not a statue that assembled with many parts. It's just pieces, and they say that they paint them, but I don't know. I find them expensive. Yeah, but when you look at Regal Robot, if you follow them and you have seen them, I'm telling you, Regal Robot sells a lot of things and a lot of replicas, and some replicas are super cool and fine. Like we talk about this, this one what was the last week when we talk about it? We talk about let me see, we can see, some things I totally get the price. Some things definitely kind of, in my opinion, like you see the different artifacts that they have done. The wait list, for example, the Holy Grail, they have the Urn of Hati. I think the Hati. And they have a couple of things there. I get it. They also have the director chairs and canvas set. So they always have these things that are, like very they're props. And it's cool in my book. But some of the things that they do is like, I find them too expensive. Like, and yes, there are things that I totally see the price point. Like I see with the 3,000 for the Wampa, it's expensive, $2,500. I can see the price on that one. I can see the price on the Tuscan Raider. I can see the price even though it's expensive. Also, some things like the Tauntaun, that thing is super expensive. Or the Chewbacca Buzz, that is a really nice Chewbacca Buzz, but very expensive. But I can see the price in some of these things. Even the replicas are $16,000. But I don't know. Some of those things, some of the replicas, I found that they really hit the high mark and they do it just to sell. And I found that a little bit kind of misguided in some way, and also a little bit of kind of pushing for the high price. And people, well, the problem is that as long as people buy them, they will continue selling them. But I don't think that they're worth that much. I don't think this Sankara stones as nice as they look, even though they look nice and all that. And if you're a big Indiana Jones fan, it's a nice prop to have. But I don't think they're worth $700 just a set. And they're not as translucent as in the film, in my opinion. They don't have any type of light up or anything that you can see through, like the light up or anything. That would have been very nice if they were able to add that thing into it. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'm not really an indie guy. I love the indie films. The last film, I enjoyed it very much. I love Indiana Jones films. But to the level to say that I'm going to invest in props, I know, but there's some people out there that definitely are into it, and I'm sure that it's going to sell, and they're going to do it. Berserk is my thing. Yeah, Berserk is super popular with a lot of people. Although I've never been like really too much into. I like Berserk, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need to get everything from Berserk. Hey, what's up, Squad Captain? How you doing, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, this is what we cover so far. We cover all the stones, all the collectibles, all the statues, all the stones, all the statues. But I'm gonna take another break. This is my final break of the night, and I'm gonna come back. And when we come back, again, I want to say to all of you, thank you for being here with me. When I get back, we're going to discuss the biggest thing I think of this week, which is Legendary Beasts and XM Studios. Their fallout, their love story that they have. It just simply they break up. It's a breakup, and we're gonna look at it in a moment, and we're gonna discuss how I feel about it. We're gonna look at some of the details, information that has been provided, and we're gonna tackle some of the things. We're gonna try to avoid drama here, but drama comes, so we gotta cover some of those aspects in a moment and see what we're gonna try to decipher, trying to dissect the information that has been given to us. So give me a couple of minutes and stay tuned, and we'll come back and we'll discuss it and see how far we go with that. So I'll see you in a moment.
I'm drowning in something and I can't come out. Just show me loving. I need loving.
All right, we're back. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to take care of things I gotta take care of. And here I see Kenny. Here is not really an indie guy, Joe JP. Smash that like. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you very much. AJP, I gotta head off to work. Unfortunately, I get it. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day. Enjoy time at work. I hope everything works good. Have a fantastic day. I will catch the rest on replay. Yeah, we'll be ready there. But I want to say to everyone that is watching this, as Kenny says, don't forget to smash the like just to let me know that you're watching and supporting this video. It really helps with everything. I appreciate it. It's been really fantastic. Now we have covered a lot of things, action figures. We have, and again, as I mentioned earlier, we're dedicating this to Akira Toriyama's memory today. But we covered a lot of things today. But I think the biggest still, the nice kind of Jeong in some way, and there's still a big thing that I want to cover. And definitely it's been a lot of back and forth this week and a lot of speculation, and it's always going to be one of those situations where there's drama from one place to the other. But I think it's good that we pay attention and we look at some of those things and really determine exactly what's happening here. At least from the factors. There's always gonna be two sides to the story, and we don't want to add anything more to the story. Because in the end, I'm not an expert here. I don't know exactly what's happening here. I don't know, I'm an insider. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that are being shown and hints in between Legendary Beast Studio and XM Studio, and I want to explore the information that we have and really try to break it down and see exactly what's happening, what to expect. All right, but first, and for that particular reason, here I'm at the Legendary Beast website, which is amazing. That's Iron Man, looks amazing for sure. And we're gonna come in just a moment, a little bit to look at it, but I want to actually go to when I go to Facebook, and I want to look at Jaysa. We're friends on Facebook. He is the owner of Legendary Beast Studios. And there was something that here, March 5th, he released this statement which changed. Because at the beginning, it was more of, this is fully canceled. So this technically what started it all. So we're going to look at this here. Maybe we can get in there. Maybe we can get there. I don't know if we can get it. I'm gonna kind of read to you, and this kind of changed a little bit because initially everything here was canceled. But this is the rate that we're gonna read. Just wanted to loop you all in one recent development. Our collaborative partnership with XM Studios has come to an end. This means all of the Prestige Series statues we were collaborating on, Thanos, decision pending. Thanos, it says decision pending. Negotiations with XM Studios, it seems that this was already far long into the process, so they continue on with it. Wolverine has been canceled. Venom was canceled. Spider-Man was canceled. The Prestige Series Iron Man will still push through, and this is one that it was in development through, subject to XM Studios settling of existing obligations related to the statue. Settling, this sounds like they have some type of dispute. We have to read things kind of like there. It says settling existing obligations. It means that there's something perhaps that has to do with money. Maybe something that they have to do something. Maybe, we don't know. It could be that actually the project wasn't fully approved and Marvel is making changes, and of course this is a partnership here. XM Studios is the one that holds the license, is the one that has to pay the licensor, and Legendary Beasts is technically the company that was designing these things, but they were not, like, in the sense, the ones that were paying for the license. So maybe there's some back and forth between what they had been done, what expenses had been done, but that's how it sounds to me here, that there are existing obligations from XM Studios. This wasn't the easiest call, but sometimes things don't quite mesh as planned. That said, we are grateful to XM Studios, which is always a good way to go out, thank the company that you've been working with. for their support throughout the process and the opportunity given to us. Here's the good news. We're excited to unveil new epic statues from our DC line to life soon. We'll keep you updated on any future developments. Thank you for all your support. So this is very political in some way, but also there were like shots fired for sure. There were a couple of things that were said there. You can see pretty much what here. Maybe we can read some of this. The Sideshow will like to inform valued customers of a change in our distribution agreement with XM Studios for all Disney Marvel licensed collectibles. Effective immediately. Legendary Beast Studios will no longer be collaborating with XM Studios on future projects. Immediately. That is definitely like, we're done. We're not doing anything. This decision impacts the following previously announced XM Studios Legendary Beasts Prestige Series statues. And of course, here you can see Thanos under negotiation. Pre-orders for the Iron Man statue will not be canceled, as this piece is already in production. That means that they already kind of took it to the factory. It's already in the factory working on it. It's like they can now back down. That will open the door for a legal battle right there, so they're not doing it. Existing orders will be fulfilled by XM Studios. Please note, fulfillment will be subject to XM Studios settling their existing obligations related to the statue. Okay, so there's a couple of things there where it's kind of like saying, yeah, it's going to happen, but first, XM Studios has to settle existing obligations. Is he referring to obligations with them financially or with the factory itself? But we know that in the end, XM Studios is the one that handles the factory. Beast Studios is only, Legendary Beast is only on the designing part of the process. I'm not sure that they're actually connected with the factory. That could also be too. It could be they also are manufacturers. Who knows? They could be part actually the factory. There's a lot of sometimes shady, grady things or gray area in the way things are produced here. But it seems that they also put in their foot down in some way, because ultimately they own the design because they're the designers. And that is the agreement that they have. Probably that's the contract they signed when they started into this endeavor. And XM Studios is fulfilling that. As long as he's fulfilling this, they fulfill their obligations, then everything's gonna go well. So that's the reason why it says under negotiation. We understand this news may be disappointing. They're clearly disappointing for a lot of people, and we sincerely apologize for any disappointment it may cause. Legendary Beast Studios remains committed to delivering high quality collectibles to our fans. We are excited to unveil new innovative projects in the near future under our DC line in the Prestige and Waco series. For any further inquiries regarding this announcement, please contact our customer support team at customer.care at legendarybeaststudios.com. Sincerely, the Legendary Beast Studios team. So this is what the owner of the company posted, of course, on his Facebook. And of course, this is the official post that was also posted on their Instagram. So this is what we know. Of course, there was a lot of comments, a lot of people asking in reference to the stuff that happened there. You know that. So this is what happened. Of course, there was a lot of back and forth, and a lot of people in social media. Of course, you saw a lot of in the groups like Rat Titan and so many other groups, people asking what's going on, and you get a little heated, of course, because you know everybody's speculating. There's so much information that wasn't provided fully, which is totally understandable. It's just the nature of the beast. But now let me take you now to, I think we're gonna go to XM Studios. And this is the announcement that was done as a response. And here's right there, but let me see if there's anything that has changed or anything new. That was done as a response of the situation there. Right there. Let me see if we can open or expand this one. Man, I'm going to have to go here. Okay. Here it's in the center, so it's easier to read. All right. We're going to read exactly what it says. I don't know if this is a copy of that. It says, "Dear collectors, we trust this message finds you well. XM Studios would like to update you on recent developments in our partnership with Legendary Beast Studios, LBS, regarding the collaborative effort to produce a line of Marvel 1/3 and 1/7 scale statues. The framework of our partnership involved XM Studios overseeing factory operations." Okay, so this clarification. So they are the ones in charge of that aspect and license approval. So that means that they are the ones dealing with the license. They're the ones paying for the license, but also they're the ones dealing with the factories. That we know now. With LBS manage the design stages. So technically LBS is the one that designs, produces the file, because it's done digitally, in everything that has to do with the design of the statue and perhaps the prototyping as well. So that is the designing stages. That's what it is. So they do everything to the prototype aspect, but XM Studios is the one that sends it onto production. It's the one that deals with the, in this case, Marvel, because Marvel has to approve it. They're the ones actually paying Marvel for doing that stuff. Are they going together at the same time? It doesn't appear so, because XM Studios is the one that so far has the license of Marvel. The fact that LBS is exiting this makes us at least know for sure that they do not have a Marvel license, that when the license was created, it was solely with XM Studios. That's about it. They are only the designing company. So unfortunately, both studios have faced challenges that have impacted our collaboration. What challenge we're talking about? We can say that is the pandemic. We can say this or that. Many other reasons it doesn't explain, but there were challenges that impacted the collaboration. In light of the current situation, we have noticed the significant popularity of the 1/3 scale line among collectors, which is the reality. A lot of people like 1/3 right now. While LBS managed it, no, I'm sorry, I'm just reading backwards. It says, in light of the current situation, to ensure continuity for those who have invested in our expressed interest in these pieces, we are exploring the possibility of LBS continuing the line by obtaining their own license. Okay, so according to this post, they are actually in talks with maybe LBS and maybe Marvel for them to actually pursue to have their own license. Not sure if directly with Marvel or as a subsidiary of XM Studios in some way where they have it. That's just talks. There's now here a possibility that could happen. Please continue to support LBS if they choose to pursue this option. If LBS decides not to proceed, so this is the funny part, is that it seems that they are actually, this is the funny part to me about the whole thing. It sounds that they, instead of they talking to each other in private rooms, it's like they talking to each other by messages in Facebook, because that's how it reads. Like they sending messages to each other because they're not talking to each other. It's like now we are the spectators and this match is like, tell this, like, you know, when you have somebody you're fighting and says, well, tell, I don't know, tell her that I say this, and then the other person takes me and tell them that I want to do this. So it feels like we are the mediator in some way, social media, Facebook, because it seems to me that they send in messages. They are kind of talking, but not really talking. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating here, but that's how it sounds to me. It says, he obviously decides not to proceed. XM Studios is obliged to fulfill the line as per our contractual agreement with the licensor. Again, here is clear. It's very clear. It's sent right there for us to see. It's XM Studios who is paying the licensor. You know, they are the ones paying Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics, Marvel as a whole, Disney, to have the license, the Marvel license. This involves the creation of 14 additional designs that were initially committed by LBS during our partnership. So they had some type of commitment that they will do like 14 designs total, you know, like they have a contract, I suppose. As the current ownership of the design lies with LBS, which means in this case, LBS is the one who designed these concepts, the one who designed the prototypes, so it's their prototypes. We will adapt and redesign them to align with our unique style. Now, can they do it? And that is what the gray area is, because they may have the concepts, but ultimately the design was done with LBS. This is what the gray area is, because even though they have the designs, LBS has no right to design something without approval from the licensor. So that can put things in a gray area, and that is the reason why LBS simply says we are canceling this, we're not doing this, because they cannot continue producing something if, you know, they don't have a license. They cannot do it on their own. It has to be through XM Studios, unless they want to get into a battle, legal battle with Marvel Studios, and Marvel will come at you, Disney will come at you with all they got, and you will lose. So Legendary Beasts simply have to cancel, because the only way that they can do this is with XM Studios guiding them, or LBS procuring, or finally grabbing or adding that to pretty much the collection to their name. You know, another collection, they're talking about the finally adding the license, you know, being able to get the license from Marvel, which at this point, how that can work. It can take a while for them to do it, so it's not something that can happen overnight. So this really puts all these designs they have done so far in limbo. You know, they are in limbo. There's no way to know if that could happen. Now, and it says that because of the contract they have to produce this 14 additional designs, because actually that is what they promised Marvel, or what they got into contract with Marvel to do so. Committed by LBS during their partnership, as the current ownership of the design lies with LBS, we will adapt and redesign. Again, they're saying that they will redesign, or they will do their own thing, and they trying to kind of copy some of the elements, but they have to make it on their own because they don't want to create something. It's just a lot of gray area, because even if they do the same thing or copy fully what LBS does, LBS doesn't have a right to fight legally in some way, because ultimately they don't have the license with Marvel. To reassure collectors, XM Studios will continue to collaborate with LBS to fulfill existing pre-orders for the LBS Iron Man 1/3 scale statue. That way, at least has to be done. So for those who already have that one, they don't have to worry. Again, we don't know about Thanos. That is a possibility. Our top priority is to find a resolution that best serves the interests of our valued collectors. We understand the significance of these collectibles to you and appreciate your continued support. Thank you for your understanding as we navigate through these challenges together. Sincerely, XM Studios. That's what they posted. Of course, here you can see it's the same thing. I see it's a transcript of what was said. There is definitely a lot of people talking, and you can actually go also. They do that on Instagram and so on and so on. Now, wow. What to say about this? Shoo. Kind of give it, it's a very loaded situation. And let me actually take you to, it's a loaded situation. How do we can unravel this? Because I know a lot of times people, and you know, the thing is this post, they generated so much back and forth with people blaming XM Studios. You siding more with LBS. Which I saw that I had an issue with that. I gotta be honest with you. I got an issue with it because the reality is, and you know, I gotta be kind of clarified things here to give you a better idea of the situation, at least from my perspective. I did not know LBS prior to XM Studios. Just gotta be honest. And as you know, for those who follow this channel, I've been in this hobby for a very long time. I would say close to 20 years now. I've been a collector for a long time. I've seen a lot of things. You know, I remember when XM Studios went in, and I know sometimes people like to take credit about, oh, you know, we make XM popular because of. I've seen those people saying that, and the reality is that XM Studios became very popular during the. If there was a person or who organization that really helped XM Studios to the front line, besides of their work, besides of the ability to produce something, definitely was still during it was the Statue Forum. And I will tell you one thing, I have issues with Statue Forum, particularly with the owner of Statue Forum. I don't have, you know, I don't have a hate for him, but our relationship didn't end up well when I was working for, I collaborated with Statue Forum as a reviewer. Honestly, our relationship wasn't good in the sense, in the end. And I can share experiences, but I'm not gonna do it. But the thing is this, things didn't go as well. But during that time we were in the reviewing team, when the Statue Forum Awards happened, and my good friend Chris Bells was in charge of that. You know, Chris Bells is a very important person in the sense that he was very important and instrumental for the Statue Forums to happen, to really help also, and that really push popularity for XM Studios. Not saying that it's Chris the one who did it. Chris was just simply doing what he loved to do, which was produce content, really to push the awards and actually give companies a chance. And he did it, and it's a fantastic. He did something amazing. The B-Mood Awards, now known, they started as the Statue Forum Awards, amazing, and they put definitely Prime One Studio and XM Studios on the map. And the first year that they're actually going out as companies, the products were amazing. So XM Studios, it's always been a company that really came and shake the foundations of, to be honest with you, he shake the foundations of things, you know, with Sideshow collectibles. XM Studios has always, because of that, a lot of people were I always blame XM Studios for a lot of things. They have blamed them because of the price point. They have blamed them because a lot of people think that since XM came into the picture, prices went up, and that's just a reality of the economics. You know, it has nothing to do with XM Studio. I've seen people blaming XM Studio for a lot of things, and I feel that now people are blaming LBS. Oh no, LBS. They're blaming XM Studios for the departure of LBS. Now, the reality is that nobody really knows except the people who work for LBS and work for XM Studios know exactly what's happening there. What, you know, in any business relationship, the ruptures, the falling outs, all of those things happen. It's had to do more with personalities. What kind of thing? I don't know exactly the situation there, and I cannot simply speculate about what's happening there. I don't think we should be speculating about it, because I feel a lot of people, and this is the sad part, is a lot of people go on social media and they try to create this drama or this type of, you know, for clickbait purposes, so people can watch their videos. And you might think that I'm doing the same thing here, but you know, I'm just making these videos every week and I talk about this stuff every week. So to me, it's like, okay, you know, it's something that maybe brings viewers, but I'm not here to make it bigger than what it really is. Businesses break down all the time. You know, this is not the first time a company separates from another company because they don't see eye to eye in some projects, or because they not agree on something, or because they think they're not getting paid enough, or because they feel that they're doing too much. There's so many reasons. We don't know the ins and outs of this relationship between XM Studios and Legendary Beasts to the fullest extent. Nobody does. And yes, they can come into a video, because I think even Rat Titan was, they said that they want to bring him together but you know, that actually adds more fuel to the fire. I'm not saying that, you know, that shouldn't be good to see them on live video and they can talk about it, but I think in situations like this, it's better to kind of leave things the way they are and let the companies handle the situation on their own internally, rather than trying to involve people that have nothing to do. I'm not saying the Rat Titan, but I'm talking about a lot of collectors. Everybody has an opinion, but nobody understands the way business operates. So everybody's there, because I saw through the post, people blaming XM Studios for what LBS is doing. Say, oh, you push LBS, you're, you know, doing this. LBS is losing because of you. I don't think that is the case, but because we have to really put the facts in front of us. It was not XM Studios who did the announcement. It was LBS who says, we're not going to work with them no more. We're done with them because, you know, whatever and everything, whatever is still pending, is in their hands for them to do it. If, you know, technically the ones that they come with the axe and the axe relationship. It was the one to do the breakup. It's kind of like when, you know, somebody says, I'm going to divorce you and I'm done with you. Here are the papers. That's what they did. Technically, Facebook worked like the divorce papers and says, we're just done with you. For what? We don't know. They kind of give hints that they're not really, in some way, it sounds like they're not really happy with the relationship they're going. And now, of course, the following day, we got a response from XM Studios. They had to respond, you know, and they responded through social media. And also sounds like it's more like, okay, we're going to do this as long as this is done. So yeah, it's hard to get in the middle. It's like you're like the child in the middle of the divorce. And you're like, you don't know which parent to choose from. You know, am I going to go with dad? I'm going to go with mom, because ultimately they were working together in this project. Now, keep in mind that XM Studios is a company that has been in the industry a lot more. Yes, Legendary Studios has done great things, but most people, I would say 98 of the people, didn't know about LBS until XM Studios actually brought them together to do the projects of those, you know, the price. What was it first that I remember? Captain America, you know, that they did a 1/3 scale. And then of course we have Thor, and then we have Magneto, and they did all these different projects. It was because, you know, XM Studios entered into this partnership. That's when I said, okay, this is Legendary Studios. Who are they? You know, when you go, and I can give you an idea, like we go back to the website. Here you can see, look at the catalog, for example, just to give you an idea. This is the catalog of the stuff that they produced so far. Of course, this Batman looks amazing. We talk about it. Here's this Captain America, which I think is great. Really good. Cyclops, not bad. But Captain America is the classic thing. But when you look at that Thor that was done, very nice Thor, 1/3. Definitely XM Studios needed that. And then, of course, you got the Incredible Hulks that they did, which a lot of people praise. Those Hulks look amazing. And there's been some falling out because of that. Now, you can see the Spider-Man that they designed. I was never really curious about this particular Spider-Man. I think it was very, very busy, but there's something that they really produced that was designed by them. That Magneto looks great too, but you can see the different Hulks. Amazing looking Hulks with that more museum pose. Some people put him as the best ever. It is up there, but I'm not gonna say that is the best Hulk of all existence. I think that is very subjective, subjective to how you feel about things. And of course, we got the Superman, you got the Juggernaut when they're doing the smaller stuff. And of course, the Iron Man that you see. So yeah, this is the stuff that, beyond that, Legendary Beast was just designing stuff. They haven't been producing stuff. So now that they're going on the route, and of course, some of the stuff that with this license they're gonna do on their own, they're gonna manage on their own. We're hoping for that. But so far, even the Hulk, it was over all the stuff, Marvel stuff. It was the factory process. All of that was managed by XM Studios. With Legendary Beasts, will be able to follow the same thing. Are they going to use the same factories? Are they going to be able to get the contracts for those factories? It's a lot of things. With Legendary Beast Studios is going in that route. Maybe they already producing some stuff on their own with the DC stuff, but now they got to deal on their own. With things, so that can change. I think the important thing is, like, what people hope is that the quality doesn't change, and the Legendary Beast can keep growing. And I feel the company has the potential to grow, but the reality is the Legendary Beast is newer in the market than XM Studios. XM Studios was here first, and XM Studios was actually the one to introduce Legendary Beast Studios into the market, in the sense that they're the ones that started, at least we got to know Legendary Beast. The first time I heard about Legendary Beasts was when they started doing the Thor, Captain America, and all that. When I said, okay, this company is working. That Juggernaut that you saw, I think that was one of the first ones. And then we were doing some of those statues. I'm thinking that is the first time that I remember hearing about the word of Legendary Beasts. Prior to that, I never saw them. I didn't know who they were. Nobody really knew. So in many ways, I would say Legendary Beasts has gained momentum, has gained the benefit of working with XM Studios. So when people act like XM Studios is actually taking advantage of the situation, I would say I think they took advantage of each other. That's just the way it is. Because in a partnership, you help each other. This was a partnership. Legendary Beasts didn't have the license. He didn't have the money to pay for the Marvel license, which is very, very expensive. But they were able to work with XM Studios. They designed, they did amazing work. They do amazing work. They designed, they prototyped, they did everything well, like the things that they needed to do. XM Studios had to handle the manufacturing aspects of it. And also, they license, pay the licensor, pay for all that, and, deal with the customers, in that aspect. So technically they both benefited from each other, because the bottom line is that XM Studios needed someone, because, the reality is that XM Studios always had this challenge with people who always say that they were not as good as Sideshow and the quality on the likeness. They needed better designs, better concept. And I think Legendary Beasts brought that. They brought more realistic look, a very unique style that really put them on the map, going into the 1/3 scale route. They were doing some great things. And I would say definitely Legendary Beasts has done amazing work. But of course, now with this situation, what else can happen? I don't know. You tell me. I've been talking a lot about this one, but there's so much to really think about this. Let me drink some water. Again, I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for being here. My point is this, and really coming to, I would say, the end of the video, unless it's noted otherwise. I want to say to all of you, thank you for taking the time. I would say this, with honesty on this. I always wish all companies the best. I think every company has the potential to do great things. Every company comes to this market with a desire to produce the best collectibles possible. Is it possible all the time? Not always. Companies, do they have the best interests at heart when they partner with others? It doesn't. It doesn't always happen. I think that, we have to really kind of consider the factors. We have to see the facts to really know exactly before we give our opinion. Like I'm saying, I give you my opinion right now. Of course, it's Friday night, so I can share my opinion. And, like I don't feel like I'm funding anyone, but I could. But the point what I'm saying is here is that, you have to see the facts in front of you. Okay, of course. Here, what we see is that, again, Legendary Beast Studios decided to end the relationship. They're the ones that decided to come with a breakup. They said, we're going to break up with you. Our relationship's not going. It's not me, it's you. Or it's not you, it's me. You know, so they decided to break up. They say, we're not going anywhere. I think it's time for you, like, you know, I have to let you go, you know, I have to let you go. So they came out with that. That was the announcement, of course. They created that revolution, people talking about it, people getting all upset about it. And then, of course, XM had to respond. You know, what else can they do? Now they are the bad guys because people are saying, well, you kicked them out. It is your fault that they left. It's always going to be like, you know, like, dude, it's like, chill out, you know, like, businesses happen all the time. Since I've been in this hobby for many years, I've seen many of these situations happening, relationships happening, breaking up, you know, people break up all the time. Partnerships don't work. I remember when Weta was working with Sideshow, and then Weta decided to go their own route with their stuff. You know, when they were doing all of the Lord of the Rings stuff with Sideshow, then they did not go. Remember when Baldwin Designs was actually selling, or Sideshow was selling Baldwin Designs products, and Baldwin Designs went in his own website route. You know what? You know, it's just like, it's the nature of the beast. You know, there's partnerships that last for a while, but there's partnerships that don't last. Like Sideshow and Twitter had to have a partnership. That doesn't mean that they're always going to have it, and they have it. And it started with the in this case with the Master of the Universe, because Sideshow had the Master of the Universe license, Twitter didn't have it, so they needed somebody to continue on. There's always these partnerships in the collectibles world. PCS have this partnership with Sideshow for many years, but now I can see that PCS is finally going on their own route, because for many years PCS, all the exclusives went through Sideshow. Now PCS is doing their own exclusive stuff through their website. So as you can see, it's reality. It's like companies start with something sometimes because they're small. They kind of adhere to the expectations or the demands, but then when they start getting bigger and they're getting more funding, and then they have the backup, they say, you know what, it's time for me to move on to greener pastures. It's time for me to do my own thing. And maybe this is what LBS is doing. You know, now it's time for them to go. The sad part is that it's happening without, you know, in this moment where they have projects to do. But maybe this is the time to say, you know, right now projects have not green lighted yet. They're not fully green lighted, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And that's actually what they're doing. So, you know, there's a lot of ends. Of course, you know, we can try to speculate the relationship, and all people are gonna do that, but ultimately it's between them. And if they decide that things are not working out, whether there is from one side to the other, whether it's XM thinking things are not working out, or LBS, I think ultimately nobody is holding no one at ransom. You know, they just decide to go their route and do their own thing. Now, LBS is a great company, but the reality is, and let's not deny it here, and not act like LBS has been doing this for years. LBS started designing. That's what they did for a long time. They've been designing, and they've been partnering with XM Studios, and XM Studios has been actually selling the product. But LBS has been benefiting as a designing company. But now it's time for them they want to explore it, and they're already doing it with DC. So they want to go their own route and be an established company fully, not just a designing studio. And it's good, you know. I wish them luck. I think it's great. You know, I hope that, you know, some of these projects that they have or they were in talks about, they get to do. I hope that the relationship don't get stale or to the point where they cannot really collaborate again, because sometimes companies kind of fall out, but they collaborate again. So hopefully the relationship kind of mends in some way, because it seems that there's some things there that they need to be addressed internally, not just with the people, not just in Facebook, not just in YouTube, not just like what everybody else is watching, but also internally, maybe in friendship, you know, because at the end of the day, I know that they, you know, as we seen, they're friends. They were friends for a long time. So they're friends. So, you know, sometimes, you know, there's fallouts between friends, and, you know, they can address situations, they can fix things, they can collaborate again. But there's nothing wrong from LBS trying to do their own thing. Now that they're grown. Now that they're grown, so they're grown. So now it's for them time for them to go after their own things. You know, trying to not just to be like a side chick. They don't want to be the side chick anymore. They want to be also their own thing. So that is fine. You know, like, you know, it is fine to be that way. You know, you don't have to be always following the footsteps of somebody else. You know, the partnership has worked, but maybe it's time to move on. So what is your opinion, my friends? What do you think? I'm okay with either way. You know, of course, I don't have a horse in this race in the sense that I order anything from them. Right now, I don't have anything from them, but it's good to see it that way. I think that some people will take advantage of this, create some drama on social media. They will make videos about it, and everybody has to have an opinion. But a lot of people, they kind of get so worked up about it, and they go in social media to attack the company, say, well, why you did this, you deserve this, and your company's trash. Because I've seen people saying that from XM Studios, that the company's trash. And to me, it's like, what is it that they did to you that is so bad that you feel like miserable about it, to go and attack them personally? Like, you don't know, it was just a relationship that just didn't work out. It happens in business all the time. So why is it that you get all worked up about nothing and thinking, oh, this is a reflection of the business, the hobby is dying and it's going to implode, and this is another sign that everything is going to, we're going back and everything's gonna crash down? Like, there's always the doomsayers. There's always gonna be I don't know. I don't know why people read too much into things. It just makes no sense to me. All right, my friends. So I'm gonna stick around just for a minute or two, maybe. If you had anything to say, if you have an opinion in reference to it, you can actually point it there. Maybe we can. Any questions you may have about what we talk about today, anything, just let me know. A few more minutes while cool things down. But yeah, definitely it's been an interesting night. Let me drink some water. Do you have anything to say? All right. I would say to everybody, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate the support. I appreciate that you watch the people who are watching at the moment. Thank you very much. It's just truly appreciate it. Thank you, each one of you. The people that I've seen tonight, of course, Kenny, thank you. You left, but I know you'll come back, and I want to say thank you, my friend. Late Night Trip, thank you very much. I have Batman. Thank you, Batman, for being here tonight. Thank you for doing it. Who else? Squad Captain, thank you very much. But I want to say to anyone, if you're watching this now, thank you very much. Hey, always here. Thank you, Squad. Thank you, my friend. But anyone else who is watching here, and also people may not have the opportunity to leave a comment. But I want to say thank you, each one of you, for taking the time. If you watch this at any day in the future, thank you very much too. We will have the timestamps as we always do, and give the opportunity to anybody to share. Let me know what you think about the stuff we covered tonight. Whether you do it tonight or with a live video, or whether you do it later in the recording and the replay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Again, we wish the companies the best. All the companies, all the people, all the collectors. I always wish you the best. I wish the best for you, for your families, and I hope that God keep blessing you, bless you, everything you do, everything, wherever you go, your family, your business, your work, your job, your health, your finances, your collectibles, your collection, your hobby, all of that you always be blessed. So my friends, have a great night, and I'll come back. I definitely am working on some stuff. I may do a video review, or I don't know yet what I want to do about Dune. I want to talk about Dune. I still have it in my head. I feel like I need to talk about it. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to finish this weekend the video for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles band. I need to upload it, but I will have more stuff, working on stuff, projects, ideas, but of course it's just about finding the time. Always is. My friends, take care. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.